take their cup back over Adelaide tonight.
Absolutely. There's a little bit of another subplot going on too. A lot of the people in Adelaide, a little bit of talk emanating from the underground of this group, that when Tyson Edwards was felled last year in the preliminary final, a lot of the players, officials and the likes believe they would have gone on and won that match had he not been felled. Consequently, Jason suspended and missed the grand final. He's out there tonight. So is Tyson Edwards. I don't think Tyson Edwards will have a crack at him, but bottom dollar, someone will try and have an even up with Jason Cloke tonight.
Well, it is a grand final, of course, and we love a little bit. The stakes are pretty high. I tell you what, there is one man who's missing tonight from our commentary, but he's down amongst it in the thick of it in the Collingwood rooms. We talk about the president of the Collingwood Footy Club, Eddie Maguire. Ed, I tell you, it's a big feeling out here, but it must be pretty special down there.
Boys, and we're just going out to play now, and well, if there's plenty of niggle, we don't care. It's a grand final. We're ready to go.
There's a lot of talk about the pre-season competition, but I mean, these boys, they will know only one way when they cross that line, and let's face it, there's a fair bit at stake. There's dollars as well. I mean, it's pride on the line stuff.
Yes, mate, don't worry about pride on the line. We're going to get stuck into them. We're here to play with the Collingwood Football Club. It's been a long time between drinks, 1990 for the real stuff, and of course back in 1979 for the equivalent in those days. But boys, we're ready to go. We're just sitting here now. The boys, as you can hear me around me, the other mob's theme song's on there. We just want to get our crowd going. It's a fantastic atmosphere. Bruce, let me at the moment. My Magpie fans are hanging over the rafters. Geez, you wouldn't be dead for quick to be a Collingwood player right now, would you? Here we go, boys. As soon as they get their song off, we'll get on. Hurry it up, for God's sake. Get it in a fast ball. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear us down there. It is a great atmosphere. It is a massive crowd. I'm not sure if you're aware of the interchange. You've got some big names starting there. Clement, Burns, Fraser, Cloke and Loney. So you're holding a few guns back. I'm sure they are doing.
Here we go.
It would be loud down there, no doubt about it. There's a massive Collingwood contingent here. And just make sure Eddie's not running out there, will you?
That's what I was worried about. I think it's like talking to a player at the moment, and that's one of the great things about Eddie Maguire in his presidency. He actually lives and breathes it with him, doesn't he? I mean, he is so good for this club. Eddie, can you hear us now?
I reckon there might be a bit of noise down there. I tell you, it's a special occasion on lots of fronts. And for that man who's been in exceptional form, he's coming off a Norm Smith medal in last year's AFL Grand Final, of course. He's been close to this in every one of their pre-season games to date. He'll put on a clinic for his large contingent of fans tonight. There's another reason to get excited, Derm, of course, and that is another man who's very familiar with us, of course, who's a large figure around Channel 9. He's been in the media for, well, seems like 100 years, to be honest.
Ever.
And we speak, of course, of Lou Richards, who will celebrate his 80th birthday. He would love to see Jared Malloy, who's slowly coming back into some form, kicked a super goal there a week ago, and let's have a look at this Collingwood lineup and talk us through it, because as I said, they have started some big names on the interchange bench. What would be the thinking behind that?
Yeah, look, I probably just wait to see how Adelaide come out. He's probably a little bit worried about where Carey lines up the coaching staff there, but William from the West Coast Eagles played 18 games last year for the Eagles, kicked 19 goals, so he can pinch hit up forward, named on the wing at the moment. Woden, we know he can be a star. Loken from Port Adelaide, he's a mature age recruit around the early 20s in age. It has been very good for them. So Nick Malthouse has laid it, this whole Wizard Cup challenge open and said, if you're good enough, you'll get a game. Josh Fraser there in the middle of the screen has disappointed in this Wizard Cup challenge, but if he stands up today, they'll go a great length to win.
Let's have a look at this Adelaide lineup, and well, there's a couple of familiar faces, of course, Wayne Carey and Mark Dickley, but their recruits are experienced players. They are players that come to them from other clubs, in Jason Tawney from Richmond, Ronnie Burns, of course, from Geelong, and the man Carey from the Kangaroos, but that says to me, Dermot, they are very much in premiership mode, and you speak of premierships and you speak of larger-than-life figures, you also speak of Louis Richards, and he is going better than ever at 80 years of age.
Absolutely. What a wonderful man for footy. I mean, you get a lot of people from, you know, their various clubs, and they go, the single club figures, but everyone in the league loves Louis. He's been brilliant for the whole competition.
And he would just be lapping this up, Lewis. There's Edna, I think, in the front
seat
down there,
yep.
So she's never far away from Lou, and having worked with him on the Sunday Footy Show now for 3 or 4 years, he is an absolute delight to work with, and he is sharp as a tackle, obviously. Looks a little bit humble there, but when he gets out of that car, we're going to hear about this for the next couple of weeks, I reckon.
There is no doubt. Louis will get off that car and say, wasn't it good 50,000 people turned up for my birthday, and they just decided to play a game just to keep them there a little bit longer.
And the game it is the Wizard Cup home loan grand final between Collingwood and Adelaide. We'll take a break and be back for the bounce of the big game. You are watching AFL on 9.
How in the hell did this happen?
The National Parks and Wildlife Service response was pathetic.
I'm surprised that far more people didn't die.
The most devastating bushfires in our history.
It was just a time bomb waiting to go.
The answers when 60 Minutes investigates. Also, Renee Zellweger, the girl most likely to steal Nicole's Oscar.
Oh, okay.
When Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday.
How do I get 10 out of 10?
When you get a store with just what you need. Plus, people with real knowledge to give advice that helps save you time and money. Plus, the buying power of over 700 stores to guarantee you competitive prices every time you visit. That's the choice, advice and price commitment that add up to 10 out of 10.
And you can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
If you're frustrated with dial-up internet, switch to iPrimus Broadband and enjoy an always-on, free internet connection.
I'm your Venus. Only Venus from Gillette has 3 blades and soft cushions to give you the closest shave in just 1 stroke. And smoothness that makes you feel like a goddess. Venus from Gillette.
The Office Easy range is on sale with another 10% off our low prices. Desks from $134, mobile pads $161, bookcases now $125, and more. Pre-packed or assembled, only at Mile End Office Furniture.
He was the most famous Australian artist of his day. Albert Namatjira's beautiful watercolours were highly popular and remain much loved today. They reveal the heart and spirit of his country, with all its colour and splendour. Now, for the first time, you can enjoy a retrospective of his work. The Art of Albert Namatjira, now showing at the Art Gallery of South Australia.
New Carlton Sterling. It's the beer lover's light.
Sunday night at the movies.
How to be ready for anything.
The FBI catching a thief means finding his girlfriend.
We find her, we find Lester, we find the money.
Sherry's got a long-lost grandmother.
Mom, I thought you may have forgotten all about me.
Oh, I think Mama could never forget that ass.
Martin Lawrence.
I'm a handyman.
Is deep undercover.
What's that?
That's just my flashlight.
In the premiere comedy Smash.
Is there another flashlight under there?
Big Mama's House, 8:30 Sunday on 9.
Wizard Cup home loans grand final. There is a very healthy crowd assembled here tonight for what promises to be a massive game between two teams who have shown terrific form over the past season and a bit, and their pre-season has been exceptional. As we mentioned in our introduction, Wayne Carey debuting for the very first time in Adelaide colours, and this Collingwood team who have some grand final experience under their belt in the home and away get another opportunity here. Time now to cross down to our master of ceremonies, Craig Willis, for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you to stand and join with the star of the smash hit musical Mamma Mia, Anne Wood, to sing our national anthem.
Stirring stuff there, as always brings a bit of a shiver up and down the spine, and these two men will bring a shiver to your spine as they call the action tonight. Dwayne Russell and Dennis Cometti, welcome, boys.
Yes, thanks, Gary. Winning form is good form. Collingwood with wins over Carlton, Hawthorn and Geelong, and Adelaide playing very well too, Dwayne.
Yes, certainly, and these two teams finishing 2nd and 4th last year, so they have the goods required to provide a good contest.
Let's go to the toss of the coin, and, well, two men in charge of their clubs. Celebrated careers, of course, in Nathan Buckley and Mark Rasciuto. And quite fittingly, on his 80th birthday, Lou Richards strolls out to toss that coin in. No great hurry is Louis. He's just soaking up the atmosphere.
There you go, mate. And your ball, Nathan. And that's a tail. Okay. All the best, guys.
You won't be happy with that. Adelaide have won the toss and will kick to the right of screen. We have got lots to look forward to tonight here on our grand final coverage as we see the Collingwood team go into huddle. But we'll also, tonight, AFL on 9 and Pineapple Head launch player track throughout the course of the match. We will track the movement of two players and the ball itself. Now, Doom, this information will enable us to calculate what distance a particular player travels. His work rate will even tell us how much of this was spent sprinting, jogging, walking or standing. As an overview, a player's heat chart will graphically display what area on the ground he has been working the most and pinpoint where possessions have been gathered. Tracking the actual football allows us to compare two teams in terms of time in possession. This valuable information can be further broken down, showing how much time each team has had the football in different regions of the ground. Now, Derm, I know you're a fan of these statistics. We're not going to overload you, but it just adds to the atmosphere. It adds to your enjoyment of the coverage.
Well, it is a wonderful teaching tool, isn't it? You can just see how hard players work. Nathan Buckley there and Andy McLeod.
They're the two players we will track tonight.
And why wouldn't you track them? They're going to be the two key players out there.
Two other key players of our coverage, Tony Jones and Dr. Peter Larkins, down on the boundary.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Well, Wayne Carey didn't take part in the Adelaide warm-up, and he was given a frightful reception from the Collingwood crowd when he made his way to the bench. According to the Crows, he'll stay there for the first half, and when he does come on, he'll probably play in the back pocket, Doc.
Yeah, obviously, they want to protect him coming back from the hamstring problems, but it's hard to imagine, Tony, that if Collingwood are doing well, they won't bring Wayne Carey on before half-time.
Just one question, Gary. Can they check the work rate of the commentators? Start of the grand final. Hopefully not. Away we go. Plenty at stake. Clark up first. Woden tackled immediately and wrestled down, and the ball up alongside the centre circle. The umpires tonight: McLaren, Allen, McBurney and Morris.
Watch the push, watch the push.
And wired for sound well and truly. Clark knocks it down. McKee.
Holding the ball, took it down.
Gee whiz. Well, he says the ruckman took it cleanly. And I suppose fair enough. Stenglein hand passes to Tawney, probing kick inside the 50. Perry was up 6 goals last week, fell in front. Wakeland applies a strong tackle and another throw up. And it's getting a little heated down there. Prestigiacomo, the last man to get up. He was tackled, and the umpire, with a sense of humour, tosses it up very quickly.
Trying to get the ball out. Woden well tackled by Laddams, and the umpire will have it again. A few will have to get used to that new interpretation this year. The ruckman takes it out of the contest. That's deemed to be player opportunity. Stengline tried to take it out of the air. Central kick from him. Adelaide a chance to score. Burns, can he grab it? He knocks it on, but to his own disadvantage. Lockyer relieves the pressure for Collingwood to the outer side. Riley, can he trap it? Keeps it alive, but only momentarily. And the Adelaide Crow, first pick in the 2001 draft, Brent Riley. Played one game last year, but expecting big things after a great pre-season.
Beautiful night in Melbourne. Not that it matters much. Inside the dome. Knocked down in front. Charging into the pack boat. Wrestled down. Riley couldn't pick it up. Lucuria put the body in, doesn't he always? Whistle. It'll be thrown up.
A couple of quick matchups. Tyson Stengline got the job on Nathan Buckley. No great surprise there. Shane Woden running with Simon Goodwin.
McKee. McLeod now. Tackled immediately. So the umpire is getting plenty of work. McKee and Clark need to clean there. Clark knocked it down short. A Lockyer comes away from half-back, swings it out very wide, close to the boundary line. Butheris was in front. Tawney feeds it back. Bassett slipped over. Hart is taken down. Cleared apart from Malloy. One bounce. 55 metres out. Goes to the pocket. Tarrant on the lead.
Big open forward line.
Runs around. Goes with the left. Hasn't got the carry. No. Forced across the line. What's the interpretation? It was punched, I guess.
Bassett wastes no time to bring it in. Will it bounce out of play? No. Hart traps it just in the nick of time. Spears the ball towards the wing, and the mark taken by Stevens.
He's run 90 metres for that one, Dwayne. Hard work rate.
Wakelin on him.
Just wait for the call.
On the dockside wing. Plenty of Adelaide Crows players leading, but at the moment Stevens taking his full amount of time.
Collingwood are already playing a man behind the ball.
Danger here. Danger. Rocker could cut this off. Man in front takes the mark. Now is he within range?
Just there it is.
Maybe not.
That was a bad kick, wasn't it? Wouldn't have been a mark anyway.
Lockyer. Wide ball. Buckley. One hand. Some players can sense the ball coming from 2 kicks away. Buckley can sense it leaving the factory.
Well, Dwayne, he's kicked 3 super goals. Nathan Buckley, not on this occasion.
Spears the ball. What a beautiful pass to Butheris. Buckley knew that ball was coming his way. About a minute ago, he read the turnover and took off. He backed Rocker in to take the mark, and then he was the free man. The pass was superb.
And why they are so dangerous going forward is Collingwood's side is they are unpredictable in who they go to. I mean, who would have thought it was Butheris that was going to get on the end of that, other than Nathan Buckley, who delivered beautifully.
Butheris, the escapee from Fremantle's rookie lists, puts through the first of the night.
One of the things that's going to work for Rupert Butheris here, he's gone out onto the ground to the forward pocket, pseudo half forward. Young Matner is his opponent. Now, Collingwood playing a loose man at the other end has left Ben Hart all by himself near Butheris. Butheris is trying to tag Hart as a forward. Matner then is taking it easy on Butheris. You can see them in shot when we work back to them, and Butheris is going to follow him around again. This is the lead up here, so they've just got to accept that he's going to play tighter on him when the ball's in the vicinity.
Interesting, though, that Stevens' kick across the ground was backwards in any case.
Yeah. Wasn't a mark.
No. Had he marked it, would have simply been tackled. Clark goes up, directs it down. McKee claimed immediately. Good one. Trying to push it through the pack, going nowhere. McKee falls on the footy. It'll be tossed up.
Their way forward, Adelaide, they have to move the ball really quickly. You just see when they get held up, they get into trouble.
Clark brilliantly. Bode. Stengline kicks inside the 50. Wakelin behind, judged it best. Wants to go and does. Swings it out wide. Now here's a chance for the Magpies. This is Shaw. Defensive side of the wing. Dunnewood's half forward, but Butheris takes the mark about 75 metres from goal. Is that forward? I think so. No, the call is play on. We had a good line on that. Well, they're very honest. No umpire it didn't, but never mind. The hand pass Lucuria to Shaw across the ground, and McKee, that's about a metre forward. Gee, it's tough.
Yeah, linesman. Wide ball, Scotland. Too far out to score. Goes with the pass option into the pocket, racing at it and getting there. Taking the mark is Andrew Williams.
playing on the wing. He's playing on the wing, Dwayne. And his opponent is Brett Burton at the moment. Hasn't followed him down. He's just run a big semicircle from the wing through the goal square and found himself on a lead on the other side of the pack.
Back in his home state, traded by the West Coast for Damien Adkins. 84 games for the Eagles. And he kicks from 49, and it's not a bad kick off the boot. How's that for a start for Collingwood?
Captain Cook, and he'd come over the demo, Captain had a bit of orange.
Everyone's heading to McDonald's for the new breakfast bacon and egg roll.
I can't remember. I know he was there, but I'm not.
A freshly cracked egg and a bacon rasher on a home-style bun.
Not even 10:30. Don't worry, Reg, we've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. We got plenty of time.
Start by the Magpies. They lead it by 13 points. The grand final of the Wizard Cup. Clark, who's done well, knocks it down. Buckley over the footy. Rode one bump, couldn't control the ball. Neither could Burton. Spills out of there, taken high. Williams, he'll get the free kick, will he? Yes, he will. No advantage there. Woden hand passing on, but it will come back to the former West Coast Eagle, who wants to go. Goldie has, in short. Well, too long as it turned out, if that's not a contradiction in terms. Kick forward by Riley. Burton to Laddams on the wing. Goes down towards half forward. Perry's in front down there. Presta Giacomo leads back in the race. Claimed. Spills across to Buckley. Tackled. Goes with the left boot. Chance for Stevens. 20 metres out. Snaps a goal.
Good work by Perry.
Absolutely, Dermot. He just was able to get a hand on Buckley's jumper. He was caught. He was 1 against 2. And this is the value of a hard-working forward who creates opportunities. He watched his footy come in. 2-on-1 situation. Presta Giacomo there. Lays one tackle. Just gets enough of him. Just gets enough where his kick doesn't clear the danger area. And Stevens is good enough to capitalise. So they're going to have to work hard, Dermot, this Adelaide forward line. It's not full of class. Stevens is honest and Perry's honest. They've got to create some half chances, and they did well there.
Collingwood's lead cut back to 7 points. 11.5 minutes remaining. Clark in the ruck high. McLeod gets the takeaway. Laddams and Scotland. Burns, can he trap it off hands? He can, but Johnson was with him to Riley. Too far out to score. Chips it back towards Laddams. Good mark.
Gee, that was a bit of class by the kid Riley then. Very composed on his non-dominant side.
Chris Laddams.
That's the line.
He will kick this ball at goal from outside 50. If you haven't been watching this competition this year, because he marked it inside 50, it would not be a 9-pointer even if he kicks it from outside. You can see the angle on the reverse angle shot. This to get Adelaide within a point. Left foot kick, not bad off the boot. Just drives it through. Just inside the post. It's a 1-point ball game.
Race into Radio Rentals for a big deal on TAC. 68cm TV, DVD and stand. It makes sense to rent for just $7.80 a week. Race in and rent this 80cm TAC TV for $12.40 a week. Save off fast $400 on this 76cm TAC widescreen TV. And TAC DVD home cinema packs will be racing out the door at just $4.55 a week rental. Plus, race in for the chance to win the ultimate Clipsal 500 prize at Radio Rentals, South Australia's biggest electrical retailer.
Adelaide doing well in the centre square. Lead the clearances 5-1. They trail the match by a behind. Clark knocks it down. Burns, Williams, Didak smothered off the boot. Ricochets across to McLeod. In goes Edwards. Edwards trying to force it forward to McLeod. In goes Burton. Back it comes to Edwards. They're going round the tight circle. Lockyer applied a strong tackle. Matt, they've got a hand pass. Clark in trouble. Taken down by Lucuria holding the footy.
What has been really impressive with Collingwood during this whole Wizard Cup campaign has been their intensity at the man who is in possession of the ball. Their tackling has been enormous.
Lucuria squares it. Is that forward? Doesn't matter. Johnson will run. Bad luck for Adelaide, really. Had men clear of the pack back in the middle. Couldn't knock it wide enough. Tawney looks away. Burton arches the back. Got through. Over the top to Smart. Feeds it off. Bode. Probing kick down towards half forward. Perry comes hard. Couldn't complete the mark. Wakeland did well. Taken high. Loken's got it. He's away.
Play onto a disadvantage there. Kick smothered. He took the option to go. Laddams, brilliant, but then threw it out. Advantage, as you heard, called by umpire Allen. Slick handball from Johnson into Lucuria, back to Johnson. About to get caught. A little high. And now McKee to relieve the pressure. A wide kick off the side of the boot. How will it bounce for McGregor? He can take it out without making it look deliberate. And the umpire will bring it back as we go down to Tony Jones.
Look, fantastic crowd here tonight. Only a few seats available. They expect to fill those. And even better when you consider the lines to Ticketmaster went down for 5 hours today.
Happy. 13 players, 12. You can see the time remaining. Throw in right on the attacking 50 here for the Magpies. Malloy and Clark. Clark has been very good. Biglands, though, waiting to come on. Clark, that's a little bit risky. Behind the pack, Davis. Ricochets to Riley. Lucky for the Crows. Riley's kick not particularly good. Awkward bounce. Wakelin, he's been steadfast back there. Lost it, found it again. Laddams found him. The hand pass goes up in the air. Lockyer was there, trying to charge through McKee. Riley, quick hands. Got it to Bode. Bode, well, interesting kick. Comes out towards right half forward. Tracking it back is Williams on a collision course with Goodwin. Goodwin stood firm, centering kick. Perry is up again. Knocked away by Prestigiacomo. Well played by Shaw. Comes away with that.
Has Leon Davis wide with space on the city side, and the crowd rises. Leon Davis didn't get a touch in last year's grand final. This one is perfect to Didak.
And a great kick it was too. There's a massive crowd, big Collingwood support out there. Everyone knew the footy was going to go to Leon Davis, so there was a massive roar. And on some occasions, players can get carried away with personal glory and start heading for goal. He had the composure to look inside where a couple of Collingwood players were lining up, and it couldn't be in better hands. This man has been exceptional through this Wizard Home Loans Cup this season.
Has kicked 9 goals. Learnt the game on the same paddock as Craig Bradley. If he can be anywhere near that good by the end of his career, he will be a happy man. That kick not so good, only behind Collingwood by 2 points.
He is the buzz player at the moment, isn't he?
Helen Didak. He is indeed.
Edwards across to McLeod. He breaks around the outer side, intended for Stengline. Doesn't break stride. Nice kick. Just the defensive side of the wing.
This is what they don't want, Adelaide. Stop, go back over the mark and kick, because Collingwood's key defenders, Prestigiacomo and Wakelin, are just so competent one out. Clement as well. They need to take some risks and run the footy through the middle of the ground.
What's this, McGregor?
Currently, Collingwood have 16 men in the defensive side of the ground.
Bigland should mark this up in front. Missed it completely. Fraser, Lockyer. They work it out of defence. Williams across the ground, intended for Bathera, stretching. What wonderful balance this man has. That fixed him. Batheris knocks it away from half. Here's a chance now for Lucuria. He went to ground. Back to Batheris. Brilliant football. 60 metres out. Wonderful kick. Malloy runs into an open goal. Gets it.
Catherine Harvey-Williams. As a South Australian, I know how confusing deregulation in the electricity market can be. Luckily, AGL are here and can provide advice. You don't have to do anything. In fact, you may be better off waiting until the gas market is deregulated too. That's when AGL can supply you with both electricity and gas. So if you're concerned about what to do, call AGL on 131 245.
Knows how to kick a goal, Jared Malloy, Brisbane's leading goal kicker back in 1999. And an 8-point lead to Collingwood. We've played 15 minutes. In the opening term of the Wizard Cup Grand Final, just under 7 minutes remaining. Bigland's in the ruck now. Knocks it down, Stengline, wobbly kick. Couldn't quite find a target, Lucuria. Fraser, O'Brien caught. Now a chance for Lockyer. Tight in the middle. Adelaide might get the takeaway. Bickley looping handball to McLeod with another takeaway. High inside 50. Chance for the Leapers. Wakelin's fist wins out. Stevens caught by Wakelin, who continues to be steadfast in defence, and we will get a bounce just inside attacking 50 for the Adelaide Crows. Carey, Doughty, John Cock, Bickley, Biglands all starting on the bench for Adelaide tonight, but they've already made a couple of moves.
And they've got Simon Goodwin has changed off the footy and gone to the goal square. Loken was the player who went with him. Now that is a mismatch, not a mismatch, but Loken is inexperienced. Try and get Goodwin one out in the square with Loken.
Biglands knocks it goalward. Swooping on the ball, though, Lockyer comes out towards the boundary with intent. It runs up.
Well, it seems that Collingwood have had most of the footy, and that tells us that 46%, in fact, Adelaide 36, in dispute 18. So they have had control for most of this quarter.
Biglands with the back of the hand that time to Goodwin. The meat and the sandwich. Malloy came hard. Williams behind him. No chance, says the umpire, and that's fair enough.
Just looks like the double change in the ruck here. McKee and Clark go off. Biglands and Josh Fraser come on. Brett Biglands will really like bodying himself against Josh Fraser.
Won that one down. Lockyer kicks towards the boundary line. On the full this time. McLeod will bring it back in. In fact, the umpire insisting it's Burton's kick.
You'd want to get it to McLeod, wouldn't you?
From the wing. Burton chips it wide, very wide. Stevens the target, and again, Wakeland's fist wins out. And the ball out of play. Shane Wakeland doing a great job in defence at the moment for the Pies. Ball back into play. Biglands knocks it down in Stengline's direction. Just missed him. Lockyer. The handball back to Johnson. Fraser around the body to Buckley. Can he play on quickly? He can. Johnson runs, as Ben Johnson's like to do. Kicks to half forward. Nigel Smart gets back and takes the mark in defence. Trying to put his money where his mouth was this week.
Bassett. Nobody near him. Goes out very wide. Stevens on a searching lead takes the mark forward of half back.
Wakeland gave up on that lead. He does work hard, Stevens, and Wakeland's been fantastic for the last couple of years, but the aerobic capacity might be an issue.
Perry hands to it, couldn't hang on. It spills across the boundary line. It will be tossed in. Another innovation tonight. The umpires can hear each other, which is interesting. Carey limbering up down on the boundary. Another number 2, Shane Woden, also waiting his chance to come on. Riley leads in the race close to the boundary line and takes it across. So the umpires can hear each other tonight. Now, normally only dolphins and dogs can hear this sort of stuff, but tonight the umpires are linked up and we're on their frequency.
Well, Brett Biglands here has had 5 contests in the ruck against Josh Fraser, and he's won all 5 so far.
I haven't got numbers on their backs either, the umpires, but for those with an eagle eye, they've got the number on their shorts if you want to know who they are. Ball back in play, but only temporary as Shaw and Didak see it out of play.
Tarkin Lockyer continues to win the footy. Much of the emphasis on Buckley here. You can see, surprisingly, that McLeod has covered a bit more ground than Nathan Buckley. Now, as the game wears on, that may change. That is a bit of a surprise at this stage of this quarter.
Back into play. Ball in favours. Bigland's got the handball to Riley. Now Stengline just working it around, and they get it to Bassett. They can. And here's away. 70 from goal. Spears the ball to Perry.
Confidently.
He is playing like a man who knows Wayne Carey's wanting to play in his position.
Well, that was just a great takeaway, and it's quick movement of the footy, which gives these guys a chance to lead into some space. So, I mean, that is the emphasis for Adelaide. If they move it quickly enough, I think Perry will get enough opportunity.
Against Collingwood especially, because they like to pack the back line.
6 goals last week against the Roos, 11 in this competition so far. This, his first touch tonight, and he drives it through for the Crows.
He is on the phone. Margin 2 points the Magpies' way. Approaching quarter time. Biglands. Well, they fought a draw that time. Generally, he's been the master against Fraser. It's not coming out, I don't think. And we'll have a throw up this time alongside the centre circle as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, Simon Prestigiacono got caught napping with Ian Perry then, Dennis, because he just injured his left ankle. He was in getting some attention, and Perry got away, and that's why Prestigiacono a little bit proppy still on the ankle, but they've left him out there.
Curia at the base of that. A couple of layers above him, Shane Woden.
Just on your clearances there, Adelaide have had 15 hit-outs for 9 clearances.
Yep. Tawney spears the ball to Prestigiacono's man. Perry, was that enough? Umpire said yes.
Again, the clearance at a stop play, Doom, which you know, the statistics indicate they're doing very well at. And Prestige Como, it doesn't matter how good you are as a defender. If you get a quick clearance, a clean break and good delivery, well, usually the forward will prevail. I mean, he did well there. It was a juggled mark, but clearances are key at the minute.
This kick to give Adelaide the lead for the first time tonight. It's been Collingwood from the outset. They have owned the ball, and Perry puts it through for his second. Crows in front.
Owning a car can be a complicated business, but we can fix that with a car loan that's fixed at 8.89% per annum for 7 years. Australian Central Credit Union. It's not about the money.
Cornu's biggest ever outdoor clearance on now. Save to a whopping 62% with no deposit and up to 24 months interest-free terms. No exceptions. Cornu's biggest ever outdoor clearance on now. Cornu.
Ian Perry, a match winner last week, 2 goals tonight. Made his debut against Collingwood, round 13 of 98 at the MCG. Biglands knocks it down. McLeod helped it on its way. Buckley jams it on the boot, goes very high. Matner worked out of it by Davis. Tawney couldn't control it. Over the footy, in trouble. How did he get it? By Woden, taken down by Matner. Lucuria could have been tackled high. Jarred loose. Johnson, good use of the body. Great courage under there by Goodwin. And the ball up.
That was superb use of the body by young Ben Johnson, wasn't it? Goodwin came in under him and he just levered him off it. Well done.
Sting line on Buckley, 7 touches. That's a win.
Good to see Mark Rashido back as well. Knocked forward by Biglands. Through the centre square. Unkind bounce for Lockyer. Well played. Beat the first man, not the second. Laddam's got a hand pass away. Stevens stood up in the tackle. Rashudo kicks inside the 50. Takes an unkind bounce. Loken grabs it. Kicks it out of there. Williams has got it.
Looks upfield. Hasn't got a lot to kick to. Goes wide. Hoping for either Lucuria or the boundary line. He'll take either. Lucuria took a little push.
Oh, there's danger.
Did you hear that? Didn't see anything there, mate, was the call.
Danger with Prestige Como coming off and not looking terribly fluent as he runs off either.
Did you see anything there, mate? Ball back into play. Whoa, Woden hacks it towards Davis. Can't mark. Or can he? He's paid the mark.
No, just go back behind your line. Right, that's there.
Too far out to score. Collingwood searching for the lead back in the last seconds. Patheris. Oh, he was crunched a little bit by Bassett.
Just like he's nothing, man.
I've got to say, this is the guts of, as Nathan Buckley comes to the bench. Tyson Stingline's been very good, but this is the, as goes short.
To Didak, can't take the mark. Does he get the free? Umpire says no play on. Didak has not moved. Edwards to the outer side wing. Ball bounces in front of Stevens. Crowd here not happy. The Collingwood portion at least. Riley to Edwards. Maybe the Crows on the rebound. High kick. Looking for Goodwin up forward. He flies. 1, 2. Not the third. Wakeland saves the day again. Loken to Clement toward the boundary line. Rolling ball. O'Brien might elect to take it across. He can't make it too obvious. Can't get it out of play. Still close to the boundary line. And Burton decides to knock it out with 30 seconds remaining. Adelaide by 4 points. Tony Jones as we see this knock on Didak.
Yeah, well, Nathan Buckley just pacing around the boundary at the moment and reminiscent of scenes at the MCG last year. Not a happy chappy.
His opponent's had a pretty good start to this game. Tyson Stingline, he's up around 7 possessions at the moment.
Edwards kicks it out of bounds. It'll be tossed in again. There's the man in question. Dying seconds, opening term. Crows lead it by 4.
This is really dangerous here. Bigland's been good at the clearances. They're close to goal. It's 1 possession away from a shot.
Well, Fraser very conscious of Bigland, who grabbed clean possession. 55 metres out, pulls it back towards full forward. Perry angled away from him by Wakeland and forced across the line with intent. Grey area. Clement brings it in. Goes wide. Nicely done. Shaw inside the centre square just. Hand passes to Rocker. Unloads. They've gone the length of the ground. Still 4 seconds to play. Patheris dropped the mark. The clock will run down. Had he held the mark, that could have been in the Guinness Book of Records. They'd gone straight down the ground, could have turned around and kicked the goal after the siren. What might have been?
Well, Bathurst has been dangerous, and that was a point I was alluding to earlier. I mean, he is the most unlikeliest of forwards, but he has been that dangerous because not much attention paid to him by Adelaide's defenders.
He's a get-about.
Yeah, he could have had 3 goals to him. He should have taken the shot that he passed to Didak, but Biglands, you mentioned him. He's had a bit of an influence in this match.
Just can't afford to run Josh Fraser against Brett Biglands there. Wayne Carey yet to have a run on the ground, but the Collingwood controlled the game when McKee was in the middle. Brett Biglands just manhandled his opponents and gave the ascendancy to the Crows.
We've got a contest, no question about it. It's Adelaide 25, the Magpies 20. We'll be back for the second quarter action. You're watching AFL on 9.
Weather update brought to you by Morning Fresh, Australia's #1 dishwashing liquid.
Some early morning fog around the south, burning off early for a mild and sunny day right across the state. Over the next few days, as the airstream turns more towards the northeastern northerly, heating up Monday and Tuesday, 35 degrees before a shower. Wednesday, tomorrow, lovely, 27.
Martin Lawrence.
I'm a handyman.
It's deep undercover.
What's that? That's just my flashlight.
In the Premier Smash Big Mama's house, Sunday on 9.
You only need a tiny amount of Super Strength Morning Fresh dishwashing liquid because its unique grease release formula gives you superior grease cutting power the whole wash through. Super Strength Morning Fresh, Australia's #1 dishwashing liquid.
When did you last stop and think about your comprehensive car insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Amy offers you the security of an agreed value for your car. And we reinstate your rating 1 for life if you've held it for the last 3 years and your insurer takes it away. Amy even offers a free skilled driver's course for your children under 25 if you're insured with us. You can expect more from Amy. Switch now.
Lucky you're with Amy.
He was the most famous Australian artist of his day. Albert Namagira's beautiful watercolours were highly popular and remain much loved today. They reveal the heart and spirit of his country, with all its colour and splendour. Now, for the first time, you can enjoy a retrospective of his work. The Art of Albert Namagira, now showing at the Art Gallery of South Australia.
Tonight's the night. It's monster trucks down under. You can just smell the testosterone. Look at the muscle. Look at the air they're getting. Hang on a minute. Hold it, Rodeo. What the?
The bigger, tougher, all-new V6 Rodeo.
What seems to be the problem?
It's a monster truck.
I love this job.
They've smashed records all over the world. Now our swimmers are coming home to 9 and a prime-time battle against each other. Australia's best hitting the pool with everything they've got. Ian Thorpe, Grant Hackett, Jeff Hugel, Patria Thomas and Liesl Jones dueling for World Championship selection.
Fabulous swim.
8 nights of smoke on the water. The Telstra Australian Championships next Saturday on 9.
The Wizard Home Loans Cup, proudly brought to you by Carlton Sterling, Mitre 10 and iPrimus Broadband.
Grand final action coming to you live from the Telstra Dome, quarter time here. sees the Adelaide Crows 25 to Collingwood 20. Mick Malthouse, plenty of work to do for the Magpies. They jumped them early in the piece. 5 points the margin here at quarter time, as I mentioned. Adelaide worked their way back into it pretty impressively in the end. And, well, it is an arm wrestle at the moment. Both sides enjoyed various stages of the game, enjoyed some success. Let's go down to Tony Jones with the Adelaide coach, Gary Ayres.
Well, Gary's been good enough to join us. Some real positives out of that quarter for you, Gary?
Yeah, they probably got away a little bit earlier there, Tony, but I think it was probably more our dumb decisions coming inside our forward 50. But I thought the pressure's been pretty intense from both sides, and, yeah, it's not a bad game so far.
Biglands and Stegline in particular have done some great things for you.
Yeah, well, Rhett's graph to probably improve over the last 3 weeks has been on the up, and Stinger's got a big job on Buckley, but if he keeps going like that, I'll be pleased.
When might we see Carey?
Oh, look, I might introduce him in the second quarter, depending on how things go.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks very much, Tony. With Gary Ayres, Nathan Buckley came off the ground late in the first quarter. Andrew McLeod, somewhat surprisingly, Derm, I would have thought, travelled a bit further than Nathan Buckley in that particular quarter.
Yeah, well, Nathan didn't get much out of the didn't get out of the centre square all that much, so he didn't get a chance to run far. But give him his due as it wears on. He'll rack up the Ks.
Yeah, and well, Andrew McLeod, we see him probably as a centreman who goes forward. Now,
the one thing I'd say about McLeod, it is documented he gets in the full throttle sprint more than any other player. There's where he's working, predominantly in the centre bounce and into the back line.
Adelaide by 5 points to start the second term of this Wizard Cup Grand Final. McKee in the ruck now for Collingwood, gets it to half forward. Davis couldn't trap it. Goodwin does superbly. Gives to Riley, spearing ball from him, looking for Stevens. Cloak on, thumps it clear, hits it wide. Williams, McKee, good build-up for Collingwood. To Didak on the march, one grab, not the second. Clark, handball out wide to Burton. Smart, high kick towards the wing. Laddams will have to go, does go, knocks it down to Bode. Adelaide on the march now. High kick, under it, Cloak, started on the bench, takes a very solid grab.
Is he off?
And might get 50.
He's trying another grab on that 50. He wasn't off.
Well, you heard it for yourself. He wasn't off, according to the umpire. Cloak,
He's off when I call play
who missed the grand final, can play tonight, but will miss round one, the second match of that suspension, still to be served.
There you go. He's off when I call play on.
He played that card.
Yeah, but he was off. The umpire didn't get it out of his mouth quick enough.
Cloak, punishing kick inside the 50. Beautiful kick. Didak is marked. About 40 metres out directly in front.
And once again, they've just reshuffled that forward line because they are all capable. Didak has now gone to the goal square. Batheris just moves to one side. And it was one of those kicks that was, well, we call it the fat side, for want of a better term. But it was into the dangerous space, floated over the head of McLeod. Gave him a rap last time, Alan Didak. I think he'll slot this one, damn it.
Should get it. Works it back nicely. Collingwood back in front.
It was a good play, Jason Cloak, and there's no question he was missed in the grand final last year. He just doesn't seem to get beaten too much. He doesn't get you know, exposed too often. Won an important footy at half-back, and that is a great kick. That is a great kick to a good lead and a very good finish.
He's very mobile, Jason Cloak, but the one area he has to improve his game is from the full-back line. You can take him back there, you can probably expose him, but he is very comfortable for a second-year player out on the half-back line. He's as good as a 5-year.
Collingwood back in front. Clark versus McKee. Clark high, got it down, but not the palm to a chest. Toe poked off the ground in the direction of Ronnie Burns. He can't pick up Bode. Toe pokes it to Stevens. Inside 50. Can he put Adelaide back in front? Instant reply.
Hello, I'm Catherine Harvey-Williams. As a South Australian, I know how confusing deregulation in the electricity market can be. Luckily, AGL are here and can provide advice. You don't have to do anything. In fact, you may be better off waiting until the gas market is deregulated too. That's when AGL can supply you with both electricity and gas. So if you're concerned about what to do, call AGL on 131 245.
Up in control by Mark Stevens too. He's booted a couple now. Adelaide by 5 points. Clark knocks it down. Goodwin hooks it inside the 50. Pitches just in front of Stevens. Loken knocks it towards the boundary. Tracks it. close to the boundary, pushes it out. Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, Dennis, Simon Prestigiacomo still hasn't come out of the Collingwood medical room from his quarter time. We know that he got a knock to the left ankle or just above the shin there and had to come off in the first quarter. Josh Fraser still sitting on the bench also with a corked calf, so perhaps 2 injured players at the moment for Collingwood.
Tossed in right on the 50. Directed down by McKee, emerging with it McLeod, almost got through to hand passes back inside the 50. Laddams 45 metres from goal, hooks towards full forward. Cloak came back with courage, charging in Stevens, tackled by McKee. Held to him, says the umpire. Ball up.
Notice the shot of the dock there. Nathan Buckley still on the bench there. Been a long time since you've seen Nathan left off over a break.
15 metres out. Cloak hammers it back towards the 50. Bode tracks it out, turns, pulls it back towards the middle then. They'll contest 15 metres out. Stevens couldn't hang on. Locum gets the hand pass away. Under pressure, Woden played it pretty well. This is Williams under the pump to Cloak. Hand pass is wider. Lucuria goes back towards the boundary. Woden into the path of the birthday boy, 24 today. Shane O'Brien shares it with Louis. Oh, well played by Malloy. Knocked it back to Rocker. Did he have the footy? He was claimed by McGregor. Malloy's got it on the outer side. Interesting. You've got to admire a man who does his own stunts.
Great movement in heavy traffic by Collingwood there. Under pressure all the way to half forward. Tarrant flies high. Woden slips at the inopportune time and the ball travels out of play in front of Matner and Leon Davis. Woden on screen, traded by Melbourne for draft selection 14. Melbourne getting Daniel Bell, bit of pressure on him, and there's Carey, yet to emerge from exile. 12 months virtually to the day since the news broke. Ball inside, 50 for Collingwood. Adelaide not taking as many marks as Collingwood, but certainly have had as much of the ball in the early stages of this second term, and they lead by 5 points.
Tarrant and Didak in the goal square, both quick leading players.
Clark knocks it down. Riley knocked down.
Well, the tackling, I mean, Adelaide had 20, Collingwood laid 14, and they're hard at the footy. Adelaide 10 hardball gets Collingwood 5, so they are just serving it up at the moment, the Crows.
In fact, it was Goodwin who got the free, got it to McGregor. This is Matner holding the ball, I'd suggest. Didak wrestled him down.
Nice reply, nice way to arrest that worrying trend.
Telegraphed that handball, though.
So Didak not beyond him here. 10 super goals for the Magpies in the competition so far. Compare that to Adelaide's 2.
Laddams is chopping off his run around.
Didak from 60 spirals it down towards full forward. Going back, Malloy tried to hack it out of mid-air. Well, that's interesting. And that's the folly of the rule. Burton in a dangerous situation there, trying to stop. No rush. Well, there you go.
Did it well, Burton. Did it well. I reckon for a split second thought I'll rush it through and then just pulled himself up and disguised it.
But why should he be put in that situation? I mean, that's dangerous.
Excitement of the game.
It's great to have another thing to disagree about in football. That's the beauty of our game. Bassett and Smart work together. Bassett's kick unorthodox, just beats Shaw. Close to the boundary line, it's taken out. Almost Rhys Shaw able to get a hand on the ball. Ray's son. His father captain the last time Collingwood won a pre-season premiership, Ray Shaw, and his uncle Tony captain last time Collingwood won a day premiership.
Sharing the footy at the moment, both sides.
And there's the graphic. Collingwood still in front. O'Brien to Shaw. Not sure was Clement, though. Dropped the ball. Bickley over it. Can't take it. O'Brien. Clement. Spearing ball. Lockie is away. He could go for the super goal. Goes for the pass. It's perfect to Tarrant.
Well, he plays one way, Chris Tarrant. He plays his best footy when he comes at the footy. He looks like he's had a fair season in the gym, but if you are going to err on any side, if you're a defender, if you're defending Chris Tarrant, you've got to take the risk at the front, I think, and that might be harsh on Nigel Smart, but he will get 80% of his footy on the lead, pushing up at the ball.
You can see the angle and the probability for Tarrant from this spot on any ground, better than 50%. This kick to give Collingwood back the lead. Left foot brings it back across the face. Doesn't bring it back enough. It's a behind.
There is a belief about Chris Tarrant too, Gary, that if you play him from behind and get him up to 50, he'll lead to the wings and be out of the danger zones. If you play him from behind and force him up.
Rashudo just on the ground. Good one. It was a good kick to him, but he couldn't control it. It wouldn't run up for him. And eventually it goes across the line. That man's got great closing speed. very sure. And you get the feeling that's been paramount in Michael Malthouse's planning coming into this season. Just a little more speed for the Magpies. Clark tries to knock it down. Rashido put the body in. Bode behind the pack did well. McGregor. Now Burton arches the back, charges down towards the 50. Pulls it back towards the kick-off line. Burns goes back and it knocked away by Cloak. And out it goes in the forward pocket. Good defence.
And you see it 2-on-1 too. Burns back there. 2 against 1 because Jason Cloak once again comes off his man at the right time to provide support for his teammates. It's one of his great skills.
Clark and McKee to go at the ruck contest. Clark hand on it. McKee the second hand. Diving through. Can he get the handball out? Not quite. Clement snaffles it in the end. Shrugs a tackle and hacks it out of the danger area. How will it bounce? Shaw and Riley, 2 young stars on the rise. Riley does well. Shaw does better. Great battle between the 2 of them. Ball tied up on the wing. Lucuria gets there. You heard that? Still got hold of him.
Good umpiring. That's a professional free. You try and restrict your opponent from having a second crack at it.
Batted to mark. Well, it's paid. Now he plays on. McLeod kicks inside the 50. Perry launches himself. Coming back out. Malloy. Now a chance for Bassett. Dragged down. Got boot to ball. Going back with the flood of it. Stevens couldn't hang on. Cloak does a U-turn. Now he's in trouble. Well,
nice kick.
1 point only. All
it's 1 point. They have trouble with it, I've got to say.
That's why the rule's good. He couldn't cause the ball to be dead. He had to keep it alive.
I think it's the one rule I've been excited about in this competition. That is a great smother there by Laddams. James Clement's just off the boil tonight. He's been fantastic for the Pies, especially last year. Let's have a look at the work rate there of Andy McLeod. He's covered 4.7 kilometres so far. The sprint is the important one. 15% of that has been in the full throttle mode.
Halfway through the second term. Played 10, 10 to go. 10's got it. Bode. Can't break free. Still over it. Now he gets it out to Edwards. He can kick them from there. Screws it around the body. Likes it off the boot. Loves it now.
And race into Radio Rentals for a big deal on TAC. 68cm TV, DVD and stand. It makes sense to rent for just $7.80 a week. Race in and rent this 80cm TAC TV for $12.40 a week. Save up fast $400 on this 76cm TAC widescreen TV. And TAC DVD home cinema packs will be racing out the door at just $4.55 a week rental. Plus, race in for the chance to win the ultimate Clipsal 500 prize at Radio Rentals, South Australia's biggest electrical retailer.
Waited a while in more ways than one, but Wayne Carey is out on the ground immediately down towards the goal square. We side on top by 10 points. Introduced approaching half-time. Lucuria onto the loose ball. Hooks it down towards half-forward for the Magpies. Tarrant completely outnumbered. Great mark by Bassett coming back with a flight of it. Plays on immediately across the ground. But forward, this is Riley.
They're in control here, Gaz. The Crows, and they've still got big guns up their sleeve for the rest of this quarter.
Riley's impressive. Laddams got his man under the ball. Has he got the pace to get back? Well, kind of. Shaw came across on the angle. Laddams won the day. The kick not particularly good. Loken knocks it to his own advantage. Head down, charges out, gives it to Shaw. Feigns the hand pass back, goes to the middle. Woden, clever hands. Williams, ditto. Gets it across to Lockyer. O'Brien through the centre square, can have a bounce, can run to 55, gets past a would-be tackler in Bode, goes short, too much carry for Batheris, off hands, Tawney gets back, stops, hand passes away, and the danger is past. Biglands, well, momentarily, Malloy gets on the end of the kick, 70 metres from goal.
Maybe just beyond his range.
Batheris has got room.
Goes wide. Loney can kick a long ball, a very long ball. 9 points on offer. He wobbles it to the top of the square. Biglands gets back. The excitement abates. Bassett. Wide ball to the outer side. Under it, Burton takes the mark.
Great spot up.
Wide is Goodwin. He sees him. Getting with him Loken. And he thumps it out of play. 38 plays, 28. Adelaide by 10 points. Simon Goodwin on screen. 2000 best and fairest for the Crows. 2 premierships by the age of 22. Simon Goodwin. How'd you like a career like that?
Had more of the footy, Collingwood, this quarter, but obviously Adelaide have been far more efficient. And wait for this roar.
Carey on the lead. Goes in his direction. In from the side, Cloak.
And there he is again. That man, Jason Cloak, forcing a 2-on-1.
The veteran and the young tyro.
Now
won the day.
What's going to happen there is Carey drew Cloak away immediately. Stevens was left by himself. If they become Carey conscious.
Clement kicked it to O'Brien, who goes around the outer side. Oh, terrific kick. Rocker down towards half forward, beyond his distance, I would suggest, although wants a ball here. You thought about it. Goes back to Johnson. Johnson told to play on, 75 metres from goal. He's normally a long kick as well. Runs to 55, but he's off target.
Well, they've been so good at the super goals that sometimes that disciplined kick to the top of the square is a thing that suffers, and that's where Woden was heading there. Johnson elected to have a shot from well outside 50.
Good kick. Burton to Bassett. That could have been danger. This is danger. Bassett played on. Didn't know. That could be ball. Gee, umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt there. Now, what's your decision for sure? McLeod gets it to Laddams, and the Crows a big scoring opportunity over the top to Biglands. 80 from goal. Spears the ball inboard. Stevens not clear. Well played by Cloak. Perry chases. Wakeland chases him. Boundary line beats them all. And we'll get a ball in. Let's go down to Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, Josh Fraser's been in the medical rooms with the doctor, now sitting back on the bench. Nathan Buckley sitting next to him, Dwayne. So two big stars sitting there. Fraser's still got the lower leg problems on the right.
Under 7 minutes till half-time. There was a push in the back, says the umpire.
Give it to him. No, you just pushed him out. You bumped him out. You've edged him out of the contest.
You heard the debate.
So that he couldn't go for it.
Biglands has got the free.
That's what Biglands does. He's dominated physically his opponents when he's been on the ground. That if they want to beat him, they're going to have to step outside the rules. He just manhandled Josh Fraser, so they've been forced to leave McKee on him unchanged.
Biglands from 40 metres out. Not all that convincing. What's he done?
He's got it.
He's got it. Sneaks it home.
The Soweto Gospel Choir bring their awe-inspiring African gospel music to Australia, celebrating the spirit of South Africa. Don't miss the Soweto Gospel Choir. Tickets on sale now.
It's virtually impossible to make a Bose audio system sound any better, unless, of course, you offer a free custom design and installation service. Bose from Grenfell Hi-Fi. Simply the world's best brands. Grenfell Hi-Fi.
Nathan Buckley back on. 16-point lead to Adelaide, the biggest lead of the game so far. Collingwood did lead by 13 points earlier. Rocker in the ruck now. Woden. The Brownlow medalist trying to get it out. Buckley slips the handball out. Lockyer's kicked wide. How will it bounce? Who will it favour? Loney from the wing. Lucuria, the handball option. Will it sit for him? Yes. Just outside 50. Centering ball smothered by McLeod. Well played, Tarrant. Nice to knock it free. Half ridden by Nigel Smart. Malloy tries to shrug it. Tarrant's got it now. Can't screw it back. High ball. Big pack. John Cock knocks it Goodwin's advantage. Rashudo. Captain's handball to half. They've done that a few times. Wide to Edwards. Thumped clear by Loken. And Bode pick it up. Yes, Biglands. Big influence. Wobbly ball to half forward. McKee dropping back the ruckman. Gets it to Rocker. Short to Lucuria. And now Collingwood away through the captain.
Buckley, his sixth possession. Down towards half forward. Pitches in front of Didak. Can he control it? No. Close to the boundary line. Tawney did, though. Got the hand pass to McLeod.
The King's on.
Well, he stopped on a 1 cent piece there. Gets the hand pass to the run-off half-back McGregor. This is Bode. McGregor's on again. Cruising past. Looks up. Ooh. Arriving quickly. Malloy in from the side. Perry flies one-handed. Knocks it wide. O'Brien couldn't control it. Wakeland sock is off the ground. And out it goes about 65 metres from goal.
What they've done is they've pushed Rocker in, who took that last centre bounce in the middle of the ground, and played McKee behind the footy. Just means that they are one tall short across half forward, which is forcing them wider and wider and wider at the moment.
Tossed in. McKee's in front. Biglands with the leap. Rashudo over the footy. O'Brien put the body in. Rashudo never flinches. The umpire wants it. 44 plays 28. Pivotal time in this game. That's deep in the Adelaide forward zone. Keary and Clement. McKee going nowhere. Bode hurriedly down towards the forward pocket. Bounces over Perry and goes out of bounds in front of Keary.
27 hit-outs Adelaide, Collingwood 4 for the game. That is a massive discrepancy there. 22 clearances Adelaide, 10 to Collingwood. So right now, this situation here is extremely dangerous for the Pies.
Straight at the footy, you heard the umpire's call. McKee edged Biglan's out. Legal this time, according to the umpire. McLeod, he knows how to play big games. Long drop punt from just outside 50. 9 points to the two-time Norm Smith medalist.
He is a star, isn't he?
Oh, Dan, when you want to watch pure football talent, I mean, he just sliced his way through that. That is the best way to describe that. He sliced his way through that pack.
Watch it here.
Balanced himself at the right time.
He has the best acceleration off the mark of all the elite players. He's the hardest player in the league to tag, because when he decides to put the foot down, nobody's got the juice to go with him.
Big super goal, big 9 points. And again opens up an even nicer buffer and has covered a lazy 6 kilometres at this stage of the game.
So the margin out to 25 points now. Under 4 minutes till half-time. Biglan's knocked it down. McLeod feeds it back. Rashido goes wider still. This is Matner on the burst. Down towards half-foot. Keary.
Now this distance would have been easy for him.
Tackled by another superstar. Buckland. Lacuria across half-back. Loken up through the middle. In trouble, dragged down, didn't touch the footy, dropped it, holding the ball, the decision. Stevens, great chase out of the Adelaide forward line, wins the free. This has got everything. A grand final and a buzz around this ground now. Penetrating kick from Doughty. Up goes Cloak, thumps it away, and runs out of bounds on the 50.
Tackle took the steam out of Keary.
Well, it's the first hit out that he's had in reality for 12 months. Didn't play last year. 244 games for the Roos. 7-time All-Australian. And he does turn 32 shortly. Edwards won't pass it. Goes for goal. And he doesn't like it. Just across the face. Only a behind.
Very slow to get up Wayne Keary after that, and just looks proper to me.
Yep.
So the King brought down by another one of footy's royalty. Nathan Buckley. Hard. Loney goes up. Takes a good mark. Cloak is running up the wing. Loney ignores that. Goes short. This is O'Brien. Feeds it back to the middle. The run of Scotland. Cruises past the centre circle. Kicks for space. Can Hart get there? No, he can't. Woden's taken the mark. About 40 metres out. Very slight angle.
They desperately need this one because Adelaide have cut them open this quarter, and the quick burst from the kick-in means that they get an unguarded backline, so to speak, to work against. A long game plan, long kicking for Adelaide. They've had 43 long kicks, so they're going with direct footy after they win their clearances. Only 14 short passes for the night so far.
Crows have got the last 4 goals. Shane Woden averaged 19 possessions a game last season for Melbourne. He averaged 22 in his Brownlow season. I saw a lot of Melbourne last year. He played well. Kicks from 45. Has it got the carry? No. And that's lax by Collingwood. Nobody down there. Bassett. Tawney. As I said, lax. Coming out. Riley was up in front. Loney from behind. Riley knocks it forward and then goes on and applies a very strong tackle on Johnson as we go down to Tony Jones.
Well, Dennis, football is firmly our focus here tonight, but some breaking cricket news. Steve Waugh has just announced that he will continue to play Test cricket for Australia. So Steve Waugh to tour the Caribbean.
Ball back into play. Inside 2 minutes to half-time. Important 2 minutes as well. Sting line. Central. Edwards, well played. Big two of them. Handball to McGregor. Stevens is on short. Wide of the King. Punched away by Clement. Johncock, who kept the King's number 18, even though he would have liked it. Handballs back towards Carey, who's wearing another ex-Kangaroos number, Evan Hewitt. And the ball out of play. Adelaide with a good lead, approaching half-time.
Good match, James Clement. Not the ideal match for Wayne Carey to come back to, but for leg speed and strength, he's a perfect match.
Clark directs it down. Edwards didn't have it. Matner gets a hand pass away. McLeod in reverse. Buckley Knew what was coming, knocked it away. Malloy crashes in. McLeod gets the crumb, though, comes away. Spearing pass to Perry. And Perry's taken the mark directly in front, about 45 metres out. It will be a 6-point play. And McLeod is putting on something of a clinic in this term.
You try not to be too overly conscious of the superstars and give everyone the fair bit of
I know what's
time.
coming.
But gee whiz, have a look at that.
It was good, wasn't it?
Well, he can kick them and he can make them. That's the beauty of him. He kicked 5 goals against Collingwood, round 12 of 99. His second best effort behind the 7 against the Western Bulldogs in the 98 preliminary final. And put that one on the chest of Perry, who's kicking at his 3rd, and he's got it. Cop that.
Well, they're the blokes who are going to reap the benefits here with Carey. I mean, Collingwood's backman, and then, as you have called it, Cloak peels off his opponent and goes for the second man up syndrome. We're watching McLeod here. He wins the ball back. You see, once again, into full throttle sprint mode, more than any other man in league football in the one game. But Cloak's peeling off because he's Carey conscious, and there's a lot of blokes going to reap the benefits here. He's one of them, Ian Perry. Not playing well, Collingwood. They need this half break to come as quick as it can.
32-point lead to Adelaide. They've kicked 5 goals in a row and are certainly asking the question of last year's runner-up Clark. Couldn't quite find a target with the handball rocker. 28 seconds remaining. Woden wide. Lockyer chases Matner with him. John Cock 2-on-1. John Cock does brilliantly. Half smother. Ricochets to Scotland. Boundary line nearly beat him. John Cock tried to keep it alive and will get a ball up on the outer wing, and that might be all she wrote. Michael Malthouse and Gary Ayres.
I noticed Ayres at quarter time, Dwayne, when he got interviewed down there. Very, very comfortable, and he was smiling. He knew what was coming about. I just sense with Ayres, sometimes you can see him a bit tense, but being a personal friend, he was very comfortable, even though they were down just by a bit, and it's carried on this quarter, and they've taken it out to a very handy lead, Gary.
They are. They were very relaxed, and with good reason too, because with that man there strutting his stuff in the middle of the ground, he's had 12 disposals, and every one of them have been champagne, and sometimes there are a couple of moments that just split a game wide open, and right now, as we go to half-time, it's Adelaide 60, Collingwood 28. And we'll be back with the Holden halftime wrap.
Deep into South Australia's prehistoric past at the fossil farm, we'll meet the rhino and their neighbours at Monarto.
And I'll take you down to the reef at the Port Noarlunga Aquatic Centre.
All that and more. See you Sunday on Postcards.
I'm a Gemini Tiger. I've only ever owned black cars. And I wish I had a bigger garden with a fish pond.
Everyone's different. Everyone wants to save.
And I get a discount for having both my comprehensive car and home insurance with SGIC.
Call 133 233 to see how we could help you save.
You'll still feel the soul of a sports car. You'll still be stirred by the powerful 150 kilowatt V6. But now, the 2003 Mazda Tribute comes with stunning new interiors and a brand new V6 limited sport model. The new 2003 Mazda Tribute range. Our best ever tribute to Australia.
For over 15 years, the Mary Potter Hospice at Calvary Hospital has been caring for the terminally ill. Now the hospice needs your help. Organise some sponsors and join the Mary Potter Hospice Foundation Walk for Love through beautiful North Adelaide. Supported by Channel 9 Telethon, Sunday, 30th of March, 9 a.m. Call Mary Potter Hospice Foundation for your registration and sponsorship form.
There's no cure at all for this disease.
Meet two little girls with one hope for therapy.
This is one of the biggest jobs we have ever tried to accomplish.
And we're on a mission to bring it home. Backyard Blitz, followed by Location, Sunday on 9.
The 2003 Wizard Home Loans Cup, proudly brought to you by the all-new Holden Rodeo. It's a monster truck. Amy, lucky you're with Amy and AGL. Holden half-time.
Ian Perry's got 3 to his name, 2 to Stevens and 1 to McLeod from outside 50. Laddams, Edwards and Biglands 1 apiece. And for the Pies, singles apiece to Williams, Didak, Malloy and Rupert Batheris.
There are a couple of moments in a game of footy that just stand out head and shoulders above the rest, and there are always a couple of players that just, well, they demand our attention and they demand that we talk about them just by their sheer deeds. And this man, Andrew McLeod, he is a super performer. He's covered 6.5, just over 6.5 kilometres. That gives us a pretty good idea of the breakup of it, but just once or twice in the game, and this was the first one.
In motoring terms, 0 to 100 in the quickest time of anybody playing the game, but does it more often than anyone else.
Found his way through traffic, finished beautifully, and then the next one here is just, he just creates a bit of space. His second effort to Doom is the thing that gets me. Got up, found the footy again, and this pass covered probably 40 metres. Ian Perry found it lace out. It was just a terrific result. And it's interesting to... There's Nort. We saw 100. It is interesting to see where he had spent most of his time on the ground and where he picks up most of his possessions. I guess my preconceived idea is that he gets a lot of footy from the centre forward. Now, it's interesting when we look back, in particular in the first quarter, he spent a lot of time centre back. So he is developing all the time as a player. You know he's multidimensional. And we look at that, and again, it probably tells you the heaviest shade of red there is where he spends most of the time in the middle, but more back than forward.
Yeah, and look, at quarter time, he had hardly anything forward of the middle of the ground. After quarter time, they took their lead out from 5 points to what it is now. They blew Collingwood away. And look at McLeod. Everything forward of the centre for Adelaide now, for McLeod now, is contributing to their big lead blowout.
Ian Perry, we saw him last week, kick 6 very impressive goals, and he's carried on here tonight against the Magpies. It is quick clearance. He's got 3 to half-time. When the ball is moved quickly, and we know how well they've done at clearances, and you'll touch on that in a minute, Dermot, he benefits enormously, and he times his leads very well. Yep. I think the thing about it is he improved his kicking out of sight.
Yeah, look, both hands going towards the target now. He was a bit of a starfish last year, the way he used to kick it. They were going everywhere. And this is just a good work ethic here. He just gets a hand on Buckley's jumper and forces Buckley off balance. Watch this. There it is. And not many times you see Nathan Buckley, even when Blokes have got 2 arms wrapped around him, does he spew a little kick out to the side like that.
Sets up Stevens. Stevens been dangerous as well. That one was Jason Cloke took a risk and ran off him, and the ball found its way back to him and he was able to score. And Jason Cloke's an interesting point in case. He is a player who always seems to get to a 2-on-1 situation. He does take a risk. This is a situation where he thought he was a chance to get the footy, so he left. He just left Stevens there. He was in dispute, that footy there. He said, I'm going. Now, he's taken a big risk, and it has come back to bite him fairly and squarely on the backside because the ball ends up with his opponent, Mark Stevens. Now,
glad you said backside.
He will take those risks, and he might get hurt. They need to be aware of Stevens. A big stat here. I'll go the hit-outs, Dermot. 31 Adelaide, 5 Collingwood. You follow up.
Total clearances. The way you beat Collingwood is they get numbers behind the ball. and they win it, and then they run it forward. The way you beat them, if you get clearances, you're putting the ball into your own forward line before they get the chance to stack their own back line, and that's how they've done it so far, Adelaide. 27-11, mainly due to Biglands, but Clark's been fantastic as well while he's been out there.
Tells the stories, the Holden half-time wrap. There it is. The Crows doing it nicely by 32 points. They need some inspiration. Maybe it'll come from Lou Richards celebrating his 80th birthday. He'll join us along with Sam Newman. You're watching AFL on 9.
It's not only all new, it's super-sized sexy.
I've missed you. You want to join me in the bedroom?
No thanks, I'm good.
So what's the big deal?
You said that was sexy!
Friends, followed by Malcolm in the Middle, Monday.
The Vanderbilts had it. So did Australia's richest family, the Bar Smiths. Morris and Company opulence. The most expensive furnishings made in the 19th century. Only the very rich could afford these sumptuous handcrafted fabrics, wallpapers, carpets, embroideries and furniture. Now you can see the largest collection of Morris and Company furnishings outside Britain, shown together for the first time at the Art Gallery of South Australia.
Spiro has his choice of the best fish. For cats, that's Snappy Tom. This is top quality fish. A great catch, packed fresh. That's fresh, natural fish. So Spiro loves the taste. And I know that Snappy Tom has more protein and less fat than most other brands. Good choice, Spiro.
They're all of one voice. Snappy Tom.
At Shields, get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months interest-free. On jewellery like these Trilogy diamond rings from $899. Also save on diamond set hoops from $99. Padlock bracelets from $129. And assorted Jag watches from just $99. 10 months interest-free at Shields. Now that's...
Simply irresistible.
10 months of...
8 o'clock Monday.
What'd you do?
It's Malcolm versus Reese. And someone's going down.
I know he'll stop. Maybe this was just a good...
All new Malcolm following Friends. 8 o'clock Monday on 9.
Get this party started on a Saturday night. Everybody's waiting for me to arrive. Sending out the message to all of my friends. We'll be looking flashy in my Mercedes Benz. I got lots of style, check my gold diamond rings. I can go for miles if you know what I mean. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, I'm coming up.
Welcome back to the Holden Halftime Report, and we are joined by football royalty up here in the box. And I'm not speaking of you, Sam Newman. I am speaking of the original clown prince of football. No doubt about it. You are the heir apparent. Sammy, Louis Richards, happy birthday.
Thanks very much, Gary, and I feel very honoured to be amongst you two. And of course, he is the clown prince now, but he never was when I was on the scene.
You're absolutely right, Lou. You are an absolute star and a legend, and you are a pioneer. We probably wouldn't be here if it hadn't been...
I was a pain.
No, you're not a pain, Lou. You are a pioneer, and
Yeah.
You're an emotional man. Did you get a tear in your eye when they...
Well, I
drove you
did. I
around
loved it. And I found out that Edna was in the car, as you know, with me, and she was waving. I thought she thought she was Queen Elizabeth doing all this bit, but she loved it, and it was a great feeling. And it's tremendous to get a response from the crowd like that, and makes you realise how popular you are.
But you wouldn't be surprised that you get a response like that. You are immensely popular, Lou.
Well, I liked it, and naturally you do.
There you are, look.
We're all egotists, and...
Now, we watched you very closely through the binoculars, Lou. We did see a tear.
I had a couple of tears.
Did you?
Yeah, my word.
You're an emotional man.
Yes, I am.
passionate.
When it comes to money, I'm very emotional.
Yeah, I know. We've got this magnificent cake which we won't light the candles to, Lou, because you won't be able to sell it when you take it down to Toorak.
Well, I'll take it down to Toorak Safeways. There's a bid for it, and you never know, do you?
Tell me this.
Yeah.
You ever hurt anyone?
Playing football?
Well, on or off the field?
Well, I heard a player once from Geelong, and I was very sad about that, Bernie Smith, and he's one of the greatest players of all times, and I regretted it the day I finished playing football. He was coming towards me, and as you know, Bernie Smith would never do anything wrong on the ground. He was such a fair play, won a Brownlow medal, and he was coming towards me, and I had the ball, I had my fist in front of the ball, and he ran into me and hit him in the throat. And, of course, he went down. And I wish the ground would have swallowed me up then, because, you know, when you do the wrong thing to a champion, a good player, if it had been a rough player, you wouldn't have worried.
No, you wouldn't have, Lou. What, have you ever hurt anyone off the ground in your writing and your job as a media mogul? Do you worry about that? Do you worry about anyone but yourself?
Never. No, I do. I worry about my family. I worry about you. I've been worried about you a lot of times, because you're one of my young up-and-comers. Yeah, you were, and I knew you were going to be good.
What about him, Lou? What about Sammy? Have you any advice for him? I mean,
Well, he's a very good man. He's a bit irrational, and as you know, and loves driving cars. He never wins a race. I don't know why he drives. He likes getting dressed up, and he's lost a lot of weight because he's got to fit into the Lamborghini, he told me, and whatever that is, that sounds like a mushroom to me, a Lamborghini. But he's a great man, and he's been marvellous for Channel 9, and they know it. That's why they wouldn't employ him. You're not bad doing your job now in a minor way, but you're doing a good job of it.
And it's a very big night. Your old boss, Gary Fenton's here from 7. You spent all those years at 7.
Well, he was a great help to me, Gary. Yeah. Yes, he was very creative, and I helped to make him, too. Let me be honest about it.
And Jack and Lou, do you like Jack?
Yeah, Jack Dyer. Yeah. Loved him, and Bob Davis, a great mate.
He's still with us. He's not dead yet.
No, he's not the best, but he's going along. As Bob Davis goes to see him a lot, and I don't want to go and see him when they're like that, but Bob does. You know what Bob's like.
Yeah.
Bob's a great man, and Bob would be watching this now, and why don't you send him a cheerio? He loves you.
You send him a cheerio.
Well, there's Sam, Bob, and Margaret sitting home there in the motel.
Yeah. And you're honest man, are you, Lou?
Yes.
Honest?
Yeah, very honest.
Wouldn't dud anyone?
Never try to. I wouldn't. I think. Why do you want to dud people?
I don't want to. I'm just. No. I know what sort of person you are, and I just want people to know you're a marvellous man. You've been great for this game.
I love you saying that about a marvellous. But I don't think you should ever dud anyone. I think you should love people. And that's one of the greatest things you can have in your life is to love someone.
Yeah.
You know that,
God-fearing, and you love Edna.
Well, I do love Edna. Yeah. I've married her, and I've been married for 54 years.
And we love you, Louis. We love you, and on behalf of everyone at Channel 9, in fact, the broader footy community...
You're getting the wind up, aren't you?
Well, we have to go. There is another thing. You are the main event, but there's another minor thing behind us. But we do congratulate you on reaching 80 years of age, and many more years of television ahead of you, of course, on the Sunday Footy Show, which you're the undisputed star, and we look forward to you joining us in a couple of weeks.
I'm just hoping the Magpies will win. Shut up yourself, Sam. You're getting on me nerves.
We've got to go, Louis. We do need to go. That wraps up the Holden half-time report. We will be back. 32 points down, the Magpies. Can they claw their way back? We'll find out shortly. You're watching AFL on 9.
Holden half-time.
Fine, yes. So just tell him straight out the answer is yes. Yes. Yes.
This news break is brought to you by Bank SA Personal Easy Loans.
Good evening. George Bush and Tony Blair are locked in a last-minute summit as they try and break through what's become a diplomatic stalemate over Iraq. The leaders of Spain and Portugal will also join the talks being held on an island in the mid-Atlantic. It's still not known what caused a light plane to crash off the coast of Tasmania. The pilot and 4 people were killed instantly when the plane went down just moments after takeoff. And Steve Waugh has ended the speculation, telling selectors he is available for the Test tour of the West Indies next month.
Tonight on 9, Australia wrap up the Super 6 series against Kenya. Then on Tuesday, their amazing World Cup run continues as they march on to the semis in Port Elizabeth. The Cricket World Cup tonight, 10:45, live on 9.
Get rid of every bedroom suite. This weekend, you can save $300 on your new bedroom. The lot $9.99, the lot $12.99, the lot $14.99. We'll get rid of every bedroom.
Love your footy? Want to see the footy show? Come to our place, South Australia's own Night Train. Free admission, live interviews and prize giveaways. Oh, mate, it's big. Oh, man.
Tonight's the night. It's monster trucks down under. You can just smell the testosterone. Look at the muscle. Look at the air they're getting. Hang on a minute. Holden Rodeo? What the?
The bigger, tougher, all-new V6 Rodeo.
What seems to be the problem?
It's a monster truck.
I love this job.
Martin Lawrence in the premier comedy smash Big Mama's House Sunday.
Say my name.
Smash Big.
They were hard at Collingwood and they did close them down in an area that the Pies have been pretty good at.
Yeah, I mentioned pre-match that Collingwood have been really impressive in the Wizard Cup campaign with their tackling, but Adelaide withstood that the first couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so, and dished it up to the Collingwood boys and have taken away from them. You look at the centre of the screen now, and it is big Anthony Rocker in the ruck. I reckon he's going to be their best bet up against the two tonight, the two Adelaide ruckmen.
Well, he's got to do something. Biglands has been great. So's Dr. Peter Larkins. He's down on the boundary.
Thanks, Gary. Just Simon Prestigier Como update. Still in the medical room at this stage. They're not revealing the extent of the injury. They say he's okay, still at the game, hasn't gone off, but some problem around that left ankle, left shin, so certainly missing him at the back line, Gary.
Good on you, Doc. Doc Larkins down there. As we get the third quarter underway, Dennis Committee.
Thanks, Gary. 5 points the margin at quarter time. It's now 32. Rocker on the way down, almost clean possession. Bounces around in there. Stenglein grabs it. Buckley grabs him. You heard the umpire.
Leon Davis has gone to the goal square for Collingwood, taken Jason Tawney.
Big test for the Magpies from here. Lucuria had it, lost it, goes to ground. Williams taken down by Burton. That's been a hallmark of Adelaide tonight. Arriving quickly and in ill humour.
Rocker tries to take it out of the air. Lucuria over it. No one can break free and we'll get another ball up.
This is good for Collingwood at the moment. They were overpowered in the takeaways in the first half, and now they're at least breaking even for the first three.
McGregor off and Johncock now coming on for Adelaide. Ball toe poke towards half forward. Bode. Can he get the handball out? Can. Stenglein. Point of the centre square. Edwards had his season ended by Cloak in the prelim final last year. Central ball to Riley. Play on. It was a backward pass. Clark. Bassett. Worked it all the way back to half. Back to Johncock, who just came on. About to get caught. Shrugs a couple. Poise. Bassett wide to Hutt. Half-back flank now Smart. More games than any other Crow, Nigel. Smart to Riley. Now back to Smart. Chips the ball towards Burton. Ultra Smart. Burton, 9-point range. He wants it. Thinks there's a chance. Back to Smart. High kick. Inside 50. Touch play on. You heard it. The ball has been grabbed by Stevens. Wakeland ties it up. Perry can't break free.
Thanks, Ian.
And we'll get a bounce inside 50 for Adelaide. 60 plays 28. Early stages third term.
Clark decisively. Goodwin got the hand pass away. Stevens. Laddams on a very sharp angle, can do nothing with it, and it runs out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, it was the ball up from the umpire that caught Collingwood off guard then. Clark could have actually grabbed the footy out of the throw up. Anthony Rocker caught napping.
Boundary throw in. Kind of a big crowd tonight. McLeod couldn't control it. Down goes Shaw, tackled by Goodwin. All work for the umpire. 60 players 28. Perry's got 3 goals. Mark Stevens 2. Rocker tries to knock it down. Burns in trouble, trying to back out of the pack in the opposite direction. Goodwin, he was taken down. Laddams has got it. Hand passes it straight up in the air. Burns to Buckley. Rocker spills wide of the pack. O'Brien in space, chips it up towards the wing, taken by Tarrant.
He's
Long
pushed
way
up
from home.
Yeah, pushed up to a half-forward flank, and Ben Hart's got him now.
He's got Phil Carman's old white boots on. Goes to half-forward, Tawney. Lockyer plays for it, gets it.
Untidy by Jason Tawney. They did have numbers, the Adelaide Crows, so it's really costly free kick.
118 games for Richmond. Tawney gave the free away, goes wide with the kick. John Cock, back pocket for Adelaide.
Gee, they're confident, Adelaide.
The backline's done a great job, Dermot. They were under pressure really early in this game, but they settled down really well.
Stengline and Buckley. If you go to kick it anywhere, not in Buckley's direction, surely Matner. Well played on the City side wing to half forward. Ball not clear of Stevens. Rocker. Shaw. Free man on the wing.
Tarrant's free.
Tarrant free inside 50. You heard Dermot's call, but this is too wide. It favours Hart. Tarrant's coming at him now and crunches him. Ball out of play. And will get a ball in.
See, Williams went for the quick kick there. He had to try and get it on quickly. There's the top five there. Bode, McLeod, 13, 12, 25 between them. Then you reach a Collingwood player, Lacuria. But Williams kicked off the back foot. Now, I can only think of Peter Dacos, who could kick off while running in the opposite direction to where he wanted the footy to go.
Burton hooks it up towards the wing. Loney knocks it forward. Hart over the footy, taken front on end high. No free kick. Put the hand pass away. Edwards, McLeod, looping hand pass over the top. Smart takes on the tackler. Ball jarred loose, but here's trouble for the Magpies. McLeod, measured approach, goes long down towards full forward. Getting back is Rocker. Plays on, runs away from Carey. Loken has a bounce to the opposite pocket. Williams, handy early in this term. Miscues with a kick though. Lacuria gathers the bouncing ball. Plays on, kicks inside the 50. Didak cleverly couldn't control it. Davis can 55 metres out, hasn't got the footy, knocked it to his own advantage. 50 metres out, charged down by Edwards, taken by Clark. Davis goes again, crashing through Malloy. Look at that, still Malloy over the football, and Tawney meets him measure for measure.
Gee, some great contests there. Two boys running straight at the footy, Tawney and Malloy, but there were some great efforts, second and third efforts by John Cock a little bit earlier in the piece just to get a hand on Davis. It was some really tight footy.
Malloy to do the ruck work now in his third season with Collingwood. That's counting last year, which was not a good one for him. Hart wide. Goodwin gets there in time. Adelaide controlling the ball at the moment and the contest. Stengline. Chance again for an Adelaide score. The Kings on the march. And the King is not dead yet. Chips it inside 50. Stevens crunch. Perry. McLeod. Edwards caught. Back to Stengline. Tries the chip. Ball cut off by Shaw. Buckley. Some more composure. With the skill wide to Didak. Buckley can even get it to bounce well. Didak to Tarrant on the march. Gets there. Takes the mark in front of Hart.
It was amazing. Tarrant away from Smart has blossomed, and Smart away from Tarrant has had 3 possessions running off the half-back flank away already.
Lacuria. The King may not be dead, but Stevens was almost. It was a terrible pass. Here's Shaw. It came backwards, that one. Kicks inside the 50. Poor finish. Bounces high. Lockyer in trouble. Charging through Burton. Well played, Loney. Trying to work his way onto that left foot. Reaching in. Burton knocks it out of bounds deliberately, but no free kick paid. It was well played by Burton.
They've got a problem, Collingwood. They've got Rocker in the ruck, but he plays one kick behind the play. Now, they've got to win this game. They have to attack, and they're going to find it really hard if Clark plays across half-back on his own.
Clark in front. Cleverly into the path of Buckley. His 8th possession. Pulls it back towards the kick-off line. Clever mark. Didak.
There's a couple of players critical to Collingwood setting themselves alight. I mean, 32 points is a fair margin, and this man's one of them. 1 out against Tawney's a pretty good result. He's very good on the lead, but just a bit of class there, plucking it one-handed. Buckley's got to get busy as well.
He kicked their last goal, a minute 50 into the second term, and breaks a sequence of 5.
The Office Easy range is on sale with another 10% off our low prices. Desks from $134, mobile pads $161, bookcases now $125 and more. Pre-packed or assembled. Only at Mile End Office Furniture.
Ever seen a black diamond? I want my stones, Mr. Fate. I'm not gonna be able to do that. The stones are not what you think they are.
Long road back. 60 plays 34.
Smart's gone back to Tarrant now.
Rocker in the ruck against Clark. Buckley trying to inspire. Ball fell to Burns. He couldn't break free. Burton nearly took Edwards out. Ball in the middle of a pack again.
Look at that. Look at that, Dwayne. That is why the Crows are in front now. One Collingwood player goes to ground. And, ooh, that's got to hurt if it hit. And 3 Crows take him down. That's just a willingness to tackle.
Bode through traffic. Goodwin comes hard. He's got great touch from his feet. Simon Goodwin picked that up. It was pounced on. And will get a bounce on the dockside wing.
See, that's courage, isn't it? The ability to execute under that sort of pressure. And holding on, as you saw, Rocker will get the free kick.
It's better for Rocker to be up contesting that boundary. That last goal they scored, he contested the boundary throw-in against Clark inside 50. I think he's got to play more towards goal than rest across half-back.
His best effort.
He is real tired already.
There's Malloy. Wow. Malloy still goes. Interesting, and again outnumbered. No chance of that working too well. Edwards kicks down towards half-forward and Perry. That was clean by stark contrast with what the Magpies offered. Now Perry is going to keep this football about 75 metres from goal. Lacklustre by Rocker and Malloy as Perry kicks inside the 50. Going back with a flight, Stevens.
Carey played his role there.
Yep, that was good team footy by Wayne Carey, wasn't it? Just nudged his man under the ball and allowed Stevens the easy jump over. Yeah, just worked him under it.
Well, actually, Jason Cloke, who has been Stevens' opponent, was on the mark, was standing the mark on Perry, so just whether or not they were covering well enough for each other on that occasion.
It's been very much a success story since moving to Adelaide. Was with Carey at North Melbourne, kicking at his 3rd goal here to get the margin back to what it was at half-time. Stevens kicks. It's close. He missed. Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, Dennis, Nathan Buckley carrying the left arm and shoulder with the very awkward. He got hit in a tackle before and he's got a bit of a dead arm, so also now not travelling well. Josh Fraser back in the rooms.
Didak kicking in from fullback, finds Scotland, half-back flank, city side. Wide ball on the lead, Tarrant, but getting there, Clark. Playing a determined game. Matthew Clark started his AFL club career with Richmond's under-19s before heading to Brisbane. Spears it wide, looking for Perry. Good half volley. Burns takes him out of play. And we'll get a ball in. Nathan Buckley on screen.
Just trying to see whether whether Cloke and Wakeland have swapped, because Cloke on Perry will be dangerous. They're changing across now. Wakeland back to Perry.
Clark brilliantly. Bode, Goodwin hurriedly jammed it on the boot. Inside the 50, Cloke did well. Reached around, punched it down. Riley dragged off the kick. Well taken by Williams. Off his bootstraps, he kicks it wide towards the boundary. Unkind bounce, goes away from Lockyer, out of bounds.
Anthony Rocker, 4 possessions this quarter in the ruck already with 8.5 minutes remaining.
Shane Woden waiting to come back on. Tossed in out his side. Clark again. Bode again. Matner inside the 50. Stifled there by Stevens. O'Brien did well. Loken peels off. Kicks towards midfield. Now a chance for the Magpies. Through the centre, it's Scotland. Chips inside the 50. Too much carry, though. This is not position A as Tarrant tracks it back towards the boundary. And out it goes.
Well, actually, that was their starting points. All the Collingwood forwards were about 30 metres out from goal, and they had no space in front of them to lead to. So that to sort of give a half sideways, half backwards lead. And as a result, the ball's ended up in this dead pocket here.
O'Brien off for Woden. Ball back into play. Collingwood forward pocket. Malloy fighting hard. Bassett gathers the crumb, wobbles it toward the line. And that wasn't deliberate. It'll be ball in.
Gee, watching Anthony Rocker behind play. There's the Adelaide Crows bench. Biglands, he's getting up, and if Anthony Rocker's blowing hard now against Clark, he's got the big unit to come out and take him on in about 30 seconds' time.
Judo and Burns among those bench players. Lockyer, Bode playing well. Goodwin from half-back towards Carey on the wing, and it's way too wide for even a man of Carey's expertise to be able to get that one. Free kick to Clement.
I have to say he looks good in the Adelaide uniform, though. Wayne Carey wearing number 2, as Wayne mentioned earlier. Andrew Jarman, Tim Cook.
It's agreeable with your fashion sense, Dennis?
Yeah, it fits. There goes the kick down towards half forward. Missed there by Tawney. Didak hurriedly. The centering kick, Burton in the best position. Stood his ground too. Johncock grabbed it, taken down. Could have been holding the football. Picked up by Bassett. Burton has been very handy tonight. In the back pocket, swings it very high. Didak knocked away by Clark, who got there. Well done by the big man. It goes out of bounds. The doc told us Nathan Buckley is carrying an arm. Was it as a result of that? I don't think so. Well, maybe. He came away, yes.
Just on the point of the shoulder, perhaps. Buckley and Stingline side by side. Ball back into play. Clark reaching high, got it to Goodwin. Caught by Williams. Lockyer. Push in the back. Scotty Burns to take the free. Scotland about to get caught. Just gets the kick away in time. On the lead. Tarrant clutch. Riley's down.
Great effort by that kid. That is a great effort. Absolute. He stood his ground and would have known probably 15 metres away what was coming and did not flinch. He just made a name for himself.
I'll tell you what, on the rules of this Wizard Cup, the way they've been going, that is going to be scrutinised.
Umpire laying a report.
No, that's just where he's going to be standing.
Gee, that was terrific. Just picked himself for round 1, the kid, didn't he?
Certainly did only one game last year in the life of Riley. Not so good in the last 30 seconds. Wide with Stingline. It's to the outer side. Matner. Now Smart. High, long kick on the lead. Carey.
Well read. Now, Wayne Carey doesn't move the way he used to. He's got a man in the square. He won't be able to get to it too quick. But the thing that Wayne Carey won the ball with there was he read the ball coming a second and a half before his opponent. Your body will lose it, but your brain as a piece of football matter is as sharp as ever.
This will mean a lot to him. Drop punt. Well, welcome back.
Well, look at him. Look at them all go to him. That is a big moment for him. We speak about actually at opposite ends of the ground, isn't it? A huge moment in the young fella's footy life. Stands his ground, takes a hit, and at the other end is a superstar of the game re-establishing himself. And I think the thing about this, Dermot, is he reads the play, you're right, but he's taken 3 marks on the lead now in front of James Clement, and that is a fair effort in anyone's language. He's got great leg speed, Clement, and doesn't get marked on too often. So there are a few good little signs there for Wayne Carey and Adelaide.
The big unit. Rhett Biglands is back in there now.
Margin 33 points. Knocks it down as Biglands. Sharked by Buckley. High ball to half forward. Smart. Knocked it down in front. Didak cleverly back to Buckley. 55 metres out. This should result in a goal. Will it bounce through? McKee. Knocked away by Bassett. Nothing going right for the Magpies. Deep in the pocket. Lockyer pulls it back. Right on the goal line. Johncock gets very high and forces it behind with intent. This is Laddams in the pocket. Life in the slow lane. Laddams around the outer side. Now he accelerates. Penetrating kick and a good one too up towards the wing, and Stevens coming hard. Marked it low down. Good footy. 67 plays, 35. Stevens goes for distance this time. Carey had it knocked away by Clement. Scotland, you can see he's outnumbered, in trouble. Bode got him. Ball jarred out of there. Clement goes in. So did Carey. And across the line from Tyson Edwards, it'll be tossed in.
And watch then, and Rhett Biglands, there's their time in possession. Collingwood, they were leading the first quarter 10% more than Adelaide. Totally swung around now. But McKee or Rocket actually looked at each other and said, you run with him. No, you run with him. So they just don't want to be taking on the ruck now. They're running them into the ground at the bounce downs.
Mark Rashido preparing to come on. Had a bone chip removed from his ankle during pre-season, and here's McLeod. Just hands it off to Bode. Slips a little one forward. Sounds for Stevens. Kick smothered. Run down by Davis. Well played. Adelaide still looking lively inside 50. And we'll get a ball up. Inside 5 minutes to three-quarter time. Adelaide 15 clearances from ball ups. Collingwood just 3.
He's a danger for Collingwood.
Bigland's in front, trying to control it. Edwards need it forward. It goes about 10 metres. Scotland run down by Bode. He's been terrific, Bode. Penalised this time. In the back, says the umpire. Bit unfortunate.
Dropped him to his knees.
Can't do much better than that. Scotland swings it out wide. This is Davis close to the boundary line. In space. Has a bounce. Hugs the line. Terrible kick. Wanders down towards the pocket. Well done by Didak. He's been their best forward. This is Tarrant. 45 metres out. Snaps. In front. Fisted away from Rocker. Locker. Missed it. Taken by Hart. Rashudo. Edwards, and the danger is past.
Hart finally bounced for him. Gets it towards the wing. Bigland's coming hard. Can't get there to mark it. Ball rolls out of play in front of Nathan Buckley. And we'll get a ball in.
You spoke of Matthew Bode, Dennis, and that's one of the reasons he's been the best half a dozen on the ground. Around the ground, the clearances have been dominated by Adelaide. Huge factor.
Was that a smile or a grimace on the face of Mick Malthouse? Hard to tell without that moustache. Ball on the wing. And we'll get another ball up as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, just young Brent Riley's come off the ground. Just have a further check on his concussion, that he got a bit of a hit. He's with the doctor. Looks all right. They're just giving him a bit of a break on the boundary line, guy.
Rashudo dragged down. High hand pass. Burns in mid-air, tried to give it across to McKee. Conceded some ground. Scotland did well. So too McLeod. Well played, Shaw. Numbers tell the story. This is Cloak. He can run through midfield, charging down the ground. Had a couple of bounces. He runs close to the 50, feeds it to Loney, but Loney is going to his right side. They didn't work it too well. Loney goes inside the 50. Well enough. He's kicked a 6-pointer.
The city of Broken Hill is unique. A city that's seen as the gateway to the outback. Broken Hill has so much to offer. Every year, the Silver City plays host to Australia's most famous outback race meeting, St Pat's. The weekend kicks off with harness racing on Friday nights. Then on Saturday, all roads lead to the race course. This is your chance to experience outback racing and hospitality at its best. St Pat's races Broken Hill March 22, 4 weeks before Easter.
Where else would you want to be?
The fight back continues. Inside 3 minutes to three-quarter time. Bigland's doing well in the ruck, still dominating, gets it towards McLeod. Buckley held, not in possession. Umpire saw it, and you heard it. Didn't have the ball. Play on to advantage. Burns to Shaw. Wide ball, Lockyer. Marks in front of Magna. Chips it inside, 50, Burns. He can hold it up, Scotty Burns.
Wizard Cup games this year, Collingwood second halves has kicked 25 goals to their opposition in 16, so they haven't finished the game strongly and won them out really well. So if that pattern continues, they would still be a chance, and this is a big goal coming in to three-quarter time.
Margin was 32 points at half-time. This to cut it back to 20, and he misses across the face, only behind.
Scotty Burns, runner-up in the best and fairest last season, was drafted from Norwood, where he played under Neil Craig. Of course, Neil in the opponent's box tonight. Laddam's in short. This is Rashudo.
It's such a long-kicking team. They refuse to kick the ball in after a point long.
Play on's the call. Edwards stops. Laddam's a left footer sold into trouble. They need to be careful. The end result is very sloppy. Rashudo goes after it. In trouble, Rashudo. That's holding it, umpire. No help to him, says the umpire. Umpire Scott McLaren only about 15 metres away. Well, that's got to be holding the ball, doesn't it?
Shepherd.
Bumped him out. They saw him coming.
Yep, that was on.
Oh, that hurts too.
Yep.
Salt into the wound.
Bigland's domination continues. Wide ball, high ball. Goodwin the target. Just over his head and the head of Stevens. Cloak Handball to his own advantage. Got 4 to beat. Beats them all. Davis can't trap it. Can he trap it now? Collingwood have the men calling for it. Loops the handball high. Loney tries to trap it. Burns back on. Doughty got the handball out. Goodwin kicks it to half forward for McKee. Holds his ground. Inside a minute. And Collingwood get one late. Clement. Now Buckley. Wide ball. Loney on his own. Might be able to march all the way to 50. Hands off to Burns. Can he hit the target? Inside 50. Lockyer. Oh, 50. And the push. Have a listen.
Just watch this show made any later and you go back to 50-year-old.
There you go. Any later. Just giving him a little bit of leeway there.
As we said, they are mic'd up tonight and they are aware of it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is what Collingwood have lost for 2 quarters, is their dangerous small leading forwards. Lockyer, Didak and Davis.
To get Collingwood within 20 points at the last change, Lockyer sprays it wide. Only a behind.
But Ferris was the other one I was trying to think of. They were dangerous early. They kept presenting and they just have gone missing the last quarter and a half.
John Cock in the back pocket, dying seconds of the term. Wait for the siren. So we're going to 3/4 time in the grand final of the Wizard Cup at the Telstra Dome with Adelaide on top, 67-43.
A hero. Our season return was stirring, shaved and dangerous. It was all good. Now we're bringing home the bacon with Steve Waugh, Heath Ledger and a premiership shaving. There's a lot of fun involved. The Footy Show, 9:30 Thursday on 9.
The city of Broken Hill is unique. A city that's seen as the gateway to the outback. Broken Hill has so much to offer. Every year, the Silver City plays host to Australia's most famous outback race meeting, St Pat's. The weekend kicks off with harness racing on Friday nights. Then on Saturday, all roads lead to the race course. This is your chance to experience outback racing and hospitality at its best. St Pat's races Broken Hill March 22, 4 weeks before Easter.
Where else would you want to be?
I'm your Venus. Only Venus from Gillette has 3 blades and soft cushions to give you the closest shave in just 1 stroke and smoothness that makes you feel like a goddess. Venus from Gillette.
If you're frustrated with dial-up internet, switch to iPrimus Broadband and enjoy an always-on, frustration-free internet connection.
Channel 9 now brings you the results of tonight's lotto draw. For further details of Lotto and Super 66 results, call 1900 989 101.
Wednesday on Survivor. A panty raid. Could you survive Survivor Comedy Inc? Be scared, nothing sacred. The new series Comedy Inc. 8:30 Wednesday on 9.
The Wizard Home Loans Cup, proudly brought to you by Carlton Sterling, Mitre 10 and iPrimus Broadband.
Down to the business end of the Wizard Home Loans Cup here at Telstra Dome. Huge crowd enjoying a pretty good game of footy. 24 points is the margin at three-quarter time to Adelaide. They were able to turn it around to the tune of 8 points, the Magpies, and they did have a fair bit more of the footy. They did go inside 50 on 12 occasions to Adelaide 7. They just weren't able to convert on the scoreboard, but they've pegged that lead back somewhat. Let's have a look at this distance chart for the third quarter. Nathan Buckley and Andrew McLeod. What can you tell us, Dermot?
Well, McLeod went off with 2.5 minutes to go. Nathan stayed on the ground and put most of his work rate inside the centre square, but he ran pretty hard in there. McLeod just eased off the accelerator a little bit. I just feel he kept a little bit up his sleeve for the last quarter.
Well, have they got a bit up their sleeve too? The Magpies, they need their captain, Nathan Buckley. He's the inspiration, no doubt about it. And I think it was Dwayne who called halfway through that third quarter. Buckley was trying to lift his side, and it was noticeable. This tells us where he was on the ground in that quarter, Derm.
It's very noticeable that he kept running to the left-hand side of Collingwood's forward line as you look into it, and that could be a couple of things. The back line might swing it down that side when they change direction. The ruckman might be pushing it out that way. So keep an eye on it. It's interesting to see where he runs, though.
It is
not all
indeed.
that much inside the 50s, because his kicking penetrates so well.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to.
He sets them up or puts them through. Another man who puts them through on regular occasions that we see, Louis Richards, is his old sparring partner on a Sunday footy show, Dr. Peter Larkins.
Well, I do actually, Gary, that's true. But look, just you mentioned Nathan Buckley. For about 5 minutes there, he had the dead arm on the left side. Looks like he's recovered. They didn't give him any tension at three-quarter time. But Collingwood still struggling a little bit because they've only got 4 on the bench. Josh Fraser and Simon Prestigiacomo have not reappeared. They're still inside. Buckley looks like he's got full strength back in the left arm. They'll need him this quarter.
And Gary, certainly cool, calm and collected in the Collingwood camp there. Mick Malthouse, no ranting and raving. Make no mistake, they still think they can pull this one off.
Good on you, Tony, and Dr. Peter Larkins down on the boundary. Big quarter. 4 goals is the margin. Can they pull it back? Will the super goal come into play? Let's go to Dwayne Russell for the Beagle last quarter.
Clark in the ruck for Adelaide, and McKee for Collingwood. Also in the middle for the Crows, McLeod, Edwards and Stingline. Buckley in the middle with Burns and Scotland for Collingwood. Waiting for the palm down. Palm down comes to McLeod, kick smothered, Scotland. Ball missed, Burns. Woden, dribbling ball. Burns on the bottom of the pack. And we'll get another bounce. Burns slowly getting to his feet.
Woden's on the wing against Brent Riley now. Might have a bit too much experience in this last quarter. You might find a bit of it here.
Clark, another palm down ball. Toe poke clear. Stevens edged out of the contest. Handball comes up from Goodwin to Edwards from the paint of 50. High ball under it, Carey. Ball thumped clear. Can Collingwood clear it? Scotland just missed it. Burns again. Picks up in the middle of the pack. Wide to Woden. Caught by Riley. Great tackle. No chance. You heard it from the umpire. We'll get a bounce.
Anthony Rocket going to the goal square for Collingwood. Looks like he's going to spend a bit of time there.
McKee gets a first on it. Stevens in trouble, gets a hand pass away. Long kick from Laddams. It's drifting back. Carey on the goal line, had it knocked away by Clement behind. Wasting no time. Clement spots Shaw. Chance on the break now for the Magpies. Woden's in the middle. He wants the football. He's bypassed though. Chance for Davis. Stengline did well. Geez, worked hard. Still he goes, Stengline. Didn't have the football. Bit stiff not to get a free. Coming out of the pack, Scotland. Hand pass stifled there by Smart. He rifled one out to McLeod. He releases this man Laddams. Runs to 55. Measures the kick. That calculation, it bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
Take a bow, Tyson Stengline. Take some courage to leave someone as dangerous as Nathan Buckley to try and intercept the footy in the middle of the ground. And he did on that occasion and forced a turnover. Wonderful bit of play.
Go straight at it, guys. Don't hold.
Possession for the game even at the moment. Scoreboard certainly not. And a dangerous spot for Collingwood. Forward pocket Adelaide, over the top. Trying to get it out Stingline. Clark. Stingline's hurt. Ball knocked here to O'Woden. No one to kick to. Goes for the boundary. And the umpire said it was okay. And we'll get a ball in.
He's slow. He's still in the hands of the trainer, Stingline. Let's see how well they communicate and how quickly does someone push to Buckley. In fact, Buckley goes to him. Sign of respect.
Wow. It's interesting. Tossed in, about 60 metres from goal then. Off hands, Edwards, almost through. McLeod dragged down. Comes to Bode at close quarters to McLeod. Feigns a hand pass. Well done, Stingline again. Kick from McLeod, who was well inside the 50. But it's straight, gun barrel straight.
There's only one place to go for all your home appliance needs. Your local AGL Energy Shop. It's your one-stop shop where you'll find everything from expert advice, friendly service and a wide range of gas and electrical appliances like top brands and gas and electric log fires, ovens and cooktops, hot water and solar solutions, central heating, evaporative cooling and barbecues. You can also arrange the installation with us. So get it all under one roof. Visit your AGL Energy Shop today.
Crows were beaten by Collingwood in last year's preliminary final. They're on the way here to a grand final victory. Woden, high to half forward. Tawny thumps it clear. Lucuria, can he find a target inside 50? Ball bounces kindly for Rocker. Tried to knock it to Didak. Unsuccessful. Tackle laid by Betheris close to the boundary line. Burns them off. Runs to 51. Drives a long one home. 9 points. Don't write them off yet.
But they are the masters. They are the masters of the 9-point super goal. They've kicked more than any other team in this competition. And I tell you, one or two could just set them alight. You never know here. And they've got players capable. You probably wouldn't have picked Scotty Burns as one of them. But that is just a very sweet strike of the footy.
Makes Buckley super important running forward to the centre now, doesn't it? Nathan Buckley and Scotty Burns on screen. Burns the last goal. Buckley now becomes the most important man for Collingwood. Not that he's never. He can hit them from outside 50 from a centre bounce takeaway.
It's not a grand final. The margin 22 points. The Crows on top. Stingline, who's been terrific. Tried to force a passage, nothing doing. Likewise, Rosciuto. Socket off the deck by McKee. Comes out wide. Thumped back towards half-back by Bode. Picked up by Tawney. Gets it away to Johncock. Goes off a step. High ball. Watch for Stevens. Well, he was flattened off the ball. Spiked it. It went about 35 metres. Lockyer. Hand passes to Buckley. Kicks inside the 50. Everybody misjudged it. Runs on towards full forward. Going back is smart. That's got to be 3 points.
Listen.
What?
Hold it, hold it, hold it. All clear, 3.
Red flags, gentlemen.
They've forgotten. Let's listen.
Bit like a hand and a glove, this rule.
There it is.
You have to explain it to him.
Hey, I tell you what, it has just stung this game alive. 12 points.
Black flags.
Big turnaround.
Game certainly is alive now, and Collingwood have a sniff. High kick, McKee. Dumps it to Burns, who's been lively. Couldn't find a teammate. Found Rosciuto, who might find the boundary line with a rolling ball. Taken across by Goodwin.
Did he just temporarily forget himself, that goal umpire? I just don't think he knew what was going on.
Yeah, he forgot all about the rush behind.
More followed.
At least they got it right, because in the context of this game, that was very important that they did get it right in the end. Buckley, he might get it right. Long kick on the lead. Terrence!
Good hands.
Oh, hold the fort. I tell you what, it's got interesting all of a sudden. What about the kick? 50 metres, low, flat, hard, got the Tarrant quick. And you just feel right now that this crowd and the players themselves sense that they're a chance.
Momentum is a big thing in football, and Collingwood have it. They don't have the lead. But Tarrant has the ball inside 50. Brings it back. Don't go anywhere.
It could be a part or a spare. It might be just one or a pair. A dozen, a score. There's one thing for sure. You'll never know what you'll find there.
Paramount Browns, new hardware and machinery, factory surplus, and second-hand just about anything.
You'll find it in kilos and pounds. You'll find it on heaps and on mounds, in gallons and litres, in yards and in metres. You'll find it at Paramount Browns.
Cash for scrap, 99 Cavan Road, Cavan.
You'll find it at Paramount Browns.
The official attendance, 43,571. They're making plenty of noise right now. Neither ruckman touched the ball. Edwards didn't have it. He'll get the free kick. Play on's the call. Bode to Hart. Swings it out wide. Missed there by Stevens. That hurt. Trumped away by Cloak. With dash from half-back. Long kick to half-forward. Tarrant worked out of it by Smart. In comes Mattner. Backs out of trouble. Somehow got through. Slips a hand pass away. Edwards on the burst from half-back. Goes out wide. Mark almost taken out there by Goodwin. Couldn't control it. Out of bounds on the wing.
Still have not taken a mark this quarter, Adelaide. 20 possessions to 14. Collingwood only the 14. There's the McLeod work rate.
There's a bit more jogging coming into it now, I guess, Dermot, than the sprinting. I mean, it's been a hard, tough game.
Tight grand final now. Bode, as he pushed in the back, he'll get the free kick.
Been great.
He has been terrific. He's been like a bricklayer who gets paid by the row. He hasn't stopped all night tonight. Michael Malthouse, that look belies the state of the game. They're right back in at the Magpies.
McLeod, high kick towards attacking 50, marking targets up forward. Carey, could he be the man? Rolls it around his buddy. He knows where they are.
There's only one place to go for all your home appliance needs. Your local AGL Energy Shop. It's your one-stop shop where you'll find everything from expert advice, friendly service and a wide range of gas and electrical appliances like top brands and gas and electric log fires, ovens and cooktops, hot water and solar solutions, central heating, evaporative cooling and barbecues. You can also arrange the installation with us. So get it all under one roof. Visit your AGL Energy Shop today.
How sweet was that?
They can make it sing, the modern-day player, and there's no question that Wayne Carey meant that. He might be out of the game for a while, but just doesn't leave her.
Makes it tougher for Collingwood, but still plenty of time if they're good enough, as they say. Clark knocked it down. Lucuria over the football. Look at Bode work again. Tunnels through. Goodwin kicks inside the 50. Awkward half volley for Stevens. Met side on by Cloak. Stevens goes after it, retrieve the footy, in goes Lucuria, shrugs the tackle, goes back looking for Williams. No time to pick it up, hacks it out of midair, and the ball runs out of bounds at right half back.
He's a great kid and he's very brave, Jason Cloak, but in this last quarter, he has allowed Stevens to lead him to the ball on every occasion.
Game has lifted in the last 10 minutes with Collingwood's momentum. Ball back into play. Burns to Loney. Couldn't get a handball. Johnson finds it. Then finds Williams. Lucuria. Space opens up. Long kick. Tarrant's on the lead. Ball in front of him. Will he go for the 9? Goes to the pass. Off the side of the boot for a shoot home. Rue. Might make him rue that one, Tarrant. Laddams inside 50. Carey. He has become the go-to man. Shrugs off Wakeland. Kicks around the body. Misses. Only a behind, margin 20 points.
Gee, silence the crowd whenever he gets it now.
Oh, it's like riding a bicycle, isn't it? It's coming back to him now. This is Loney, keeping his own defensive area. Awkward one for Williams. Plenty of time for Cloak. Hurriedly. Made it difficult for himself, though. Looked up the ground, nothing on. There were 3 Crows and 1 Magpie. And in balance, it'll be tossed in on the wing. The rival coaches giving nothing away.
Gee, big game for the ruckman in this, the Adelaide ruckman in particular. Have a look at that. 33 to Matty Clark.
Former best and fairest with the Lions. Oh, brilliantly done again into the path of Mattner. Couldn't control it that time. Bode just goes in and burrows.
Scotty Burns, 4 possessions, the most for the Magpies in this last quarter. So he's starting to be prominent.
Clark, deftly. Oh, good one. They're unstoppable when Clark gets first hand of the ball. The kick goes inside the 50. Bounces off the chest of Perry. Cloak fell over. It's slow coming out. He slaps it towards the boundary line. Burton gains about 10. Loken, aided by a strong shepherd, and Cloak, the shepherder, will get the free kick.
And there's a bit of history there, boys.
Yes.
Tyson Edwards on Jason Cloak. I reckon he just almost sacrificed a free.
Yes, Cloak still with a game to serve of that suspension from that preliminary final, and marking the ball, Matter. He takes them all on, runs inside 50, kicks toward full forward, and Carey. Good mark, Cloak.
Again, when Cloak's there without an opponent, you have to ask the question, where's his opponent?
Called to play on to Clement. Toward the wing, high ball, Williams can't take the mark. McLeod just seems to get it when you need a champion to get one. And he slots it. There he is. To Stevens.
Who asked for it, Gary? He just, I mean, Cloak's 5 metres behind him, and he's a brave kid. He's going to be a brilliant player, long-term, Cloak. But he just allows a hard-working half-forward to lead him to the ball.
Well, I tell you,
not even in picture.
If you were to coach against them, and we've got a bit of an injury break here, looks like Stevens might be coming off, you would say, kick it to his man, or certainly look hard for Jason Cloak's man on most occasions, because A, you want to keep Cloak honest and stop him from getting back on 2-on-1s.
Because he does do that very
all the
well.
time. He does it well, makes it hard, but you have to tighten up, but it's in pretty good hands.
If ever there is time for the captain to kick a captain's goal, it's in a grand final when you lead by 20 points with 9 minutes remaining, and he kicks across the face. Collingwood continues to stay alive. Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, Mark Stevens heading to the boundary line with some problems around the right knee. Dwayne will have to look at the mechanism again, but in that mark that he just tried to take, he seemed to get to the knee tangled up under his own body. He's had an arthroscope on that in the off-season, so some previous troubles with the right knee already.
Margin 20 points. Scott Burns, right half back. Not much on offer. Buckley comes.
Hard work by Buckley.
Yeah. He's run a long way, but now he's too short. Burns' kick, not a good one. Hugs the boundary line. Stengline over the top, just knocks it out of bounds, and that will do the Crows. Clock stops at 8:20.
Just feel that maybe they weathered the storm. They need to spark it up again, the Magpies.
Possession time in the last quarter, Collingwood 38, Adelaide 44% of it, the rest in dispute.
Williams in front of the pack, claimed by Burton. John Cock content to lock it in, and now the clock will continue to run for a while. So good news for the Crows.
Even though they've let them bridge the gap a little bit, they're still in control, Adelaide. They've got to pull something out in these final few minutes.
Biglands with the leap, sharked by Buckley. Wayward kick though. And McLeod.
Fine there, Paul, you're right on the mark.
Uses up some seconds. Long kick, high kick, Carey's on the lead. Comes hard, goes with the fist, Bode. Back of pack, Clement, Johnson, boundary line. Carey takes him out of play.
There's Wayne Carey involved.
Tackle there, fine, he said. Carey against his old sparring partner. SPARR. Back into play. Stengline takes it out of the air, caught by Scotty Burns. Holding the ball. Free kick, Collingwood.
They've got to go, they've got to go, the Maggies. They've got to run and take a risk and get their footy moving.
Got to roll the dice. Burns up towards the wing, then Malloy in front. Bassett reaches over the top, knocks it down. Stengline. Awkward for Edwards. Back to Stengline. Even more so. Goes again. Met solidly by Buckley, taken by Malloy. Hand passes at Goldwood, sliding in like a base runner going to second. Bassett. Buckley had it, lost it. Burton emerges with it. Kicks inside the 50. Well, just outside as it turns out. The mark is taken by McGregor, spots a man running to space, and Rashido's got it. Sharp angle, but only 35 metres out, and not the worst spot for a right footer.
He's coached, he's used these players well, Gary is, hasn't he? I mean, they are full of running at the moment, the Crows. Rashido hasn't had much game time. Carey, we know, hasn't had a lot, so they still appear to have pretty fresh legs here.
I reckon he's picked Rashido for about 40 minutes of football tonight.
He's done it well.
Mark Rashido, if he kicks this, you would sense it's all over. 81-61 currently. What a fine player he's been. Mark Rashido. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Misses near side.
Collingwood will want to move it quickly. Cloak wide. Back pocket, Wakeland. Goes with the long launch to the outer side wing. Loney. Laddams does well, beats him, takes it across the line. And we'll get a ball in.
Just get the feeling he's going to be a better player this season, Laddams.
Well, and he's put it inside 50 on 6 occasions, which is a valuable statistic. That man there leads the way.
Andrew McLeod, 2 Norm Smith medals. Gee, a Michael Tuck medal would go well with them. And yet another grand final victory, perhaps. Still time for Collingwood. Ball up will occur on the outer side wing. Maybe Buckley can generate something.
There you go, head-to-head. The work rate of 2 great players. They've both covered some ground. It's not up around the 18 or 19 that have been heard, but they have spent some time on the bench, both of them.
Buckley, 15 possessions, and McLeod the most on the field at the moment with 23.
Walker kicking it forward. It's punched out of bounds. Nathan Buckley. His career high against the Crows, 38, round 17 of 2000. Shorter format this, of course. Well down on that tonight, but looks set for a great season. Rocker, beaten by Biglands. Edwards has been handy, slips a hand pass away. Laddams goes with a kick. It may have been touched. Up goes McGregor. Was it touched? No, the mark to stand. McGregor's done very well there. That's a classy mark, and he'll kick from virtually right on the 50.
He'll take the front spot. He took the front spot. He's a big, tall lad, and pretty fresh too. Hasn't spent a hell of a lot of time on the ground, and was able to mark in front of Jason Cloke on that occasion.
Notice that there? Only punches with his right fist every time. Now, if he gets to the wrong side of the body, it's a long way around to make contact with the ball.
Past Dyson Edwards. McGregor. Ball's in about 5 metres short. Big leap down there by Biglands. And he's kicked a goal.
Let's listen.
One of the goals of the season. The big fella got to his feet. How about that?
Thought he was going to kick it, Gaz. He just controlled the ball, and he's such a big cat. He put 2 mitts down on it. You recognised the ball was between his shoulders when he hits the deck. See right there? Now he's going to always kick it from there because he's such a big unit. They're not going to get to him. A dropping. A drop kick.
But both he and Clark have been exceptional. Biglands and Clark.
Yep.
They have been absolutely dominant in the middle of the ground and set this win up with their clearances. And, well, they've just had enough for the time being, Dermot.
Not that they haven't experienced it before.
Oh,
ball up in the middle. Well, it's obviously disappointed them to the extent that they'll leave and not show their support to the end. Buckley ridden in the back. You'd stay and watch your team to the end, wouldn't you?
You must.
Buckley wide.
The good with the bad.
They can't give up. You don't expect your players to give up at this stage. Burns. Block here. Still 5 minutes remaining. Matner. Well played. Edwards. Toward the wing. Around the body nicely to Laddams. Adelaide doing everything right at the moment. McGregor on the wing. Gets around Cloke with a bit of style. Long kick. Carries the target on 50. Can't bring it in. Off hands Wakeland. Caught. Goodwin.
He's read it, Carey. He's going to win it here.
Doughty, will he find him? He got it from Perry. Kick around the body by Doughty. Inside 50. And the mark taken by John Cock. And he might seal Collingwood's fate.
There, he had the choice of Doughty out in Morey's line of sight as he ran to the centre, and Carey loitering straight back down the line. He might pick him up on the flow through here. When it wide screens, no, not quite. He was just out of it, but just on the tip of the goal square. That's Carey's foot running through the base of the screen there. That was hot for 2 of them, red hot for 2 of them to receive.
This to end it, you would think. Played every game last year in his debut season, all 25 of them. And that might seal victory in the Wizard Cup of 2003.
How do I get 10 out of 10? When you get a store with just what you need. Plus, people with real knowledge to give advice that helps save you time and money. Plus, the buying power of over 700 stores to guarantee you competitive prices every time you visit. That's the choice, advice and price commitment that add up to 10 out of 10. And you can't beat 10 out of 10. Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
Slow exodus. We presume Magpies fans
Oh, the bulk of them are staying, so that's great.
Margin 33 points then. It was 32 at half-time, so as Gary said, they've more than weathered the storm. Burns going nowhere.
And they've done it without, well, McLeod has been exceptional, a superstar, but really some of their second stringers are the ones who've stepped up tonight.
Rashudo still underdone, wrestled to the ground.
Tyson Edwards has been brilliant playing up forward and pinch hitting through the middle. He's had 21 possessions. Bode 21.
Rucks go at it. What's the half-forward line for the Magpies? Didak, who's tried hard. Buckley on the 50. Now he kicked it right on the line. Down towards full forward. Wrestling in front. Tarrant will get the free kick. Smart can't believe it. Umpire getting a little technical there.
Matthew Bode coming to the bench. Good night. Nathan Buckley coming to the bench. So that gives you some idea of where this game's at.
He did spark the revival. He's off the ground now. Tarrant kicks the goal.
Well, when you talk about
Captain Cook, and he'd come over the Endeavour. Captain had a bit of orange.
Everyone's heading to McDonald's for the new breakfast bacon and egg roll.
I can't remember. I know he was there, but I'm not.
A freshly cracked egg and a bacon rasher on a home-style bun.
Not even 10:30. Don't worry, Reg. We've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. We got plenty of time.
Seen a few premierships as a player. About to see one as a coach. Bounce to restart play. Rocker slaps it back with the Doughty. Rolls it towards McGregor. Skips over his head and the head of Perry. Loken. Half back to Wakeland, who's played well tonight. Shane Wakeland. Wide ball, but Theris the target. McLeod, who's played even better than most, thumps it out of play. Disappointed Nathan Buckley on screen. Showed his disappointment last year in the grand final when he was handed the Norm Smith medal, but it was no consolation.
Biglands, that's where it started. Biglands and Clark tonight. Lockyer got it away to Burns. Loken goes off his step, sends it down towards half forward. Tawney tried to smother it. Davis dives in, so too McLeod. Tawney controlling it with his left hand there, trying to bring it out of the pack, or his right hand.
Leon Davis, 6 possessions for the evening, so he looked like he was capable of setting it on fire early, but hasn't gone on with the job.
Over the top, Burns. His namesake didn't see much of the football tonight for the Crows. Lockyer over the footy. Mantner head down, couldn't force a passage. Bassett, Doughty, they'll run it out. Simon Goodwin, magnificent kick, just pitched short of Edwards. Taken by McGregor, hog-tied down by Cloak. Edwards goes again, gets it to Beckley. Over the top to John Cock, and maybe the most underrated man in the AFL. Simon Goodwin gets on the end of this one and kicks a goal. Is it a 9? It is.
It is, and the boys are celebrating. And I've got to say, I just saw something off screen. I mean, the boys were all applauding that one from, well, great teamwork there. But Carey's applauded it. He's turned around and applauded the Collingwood squad behind him.
Well, Derm, I had the binoculars on down there. Hasn't been short of advice for the last 10 minutes, I've got to say. But just a definitive super goal to finish off a super pre-season competition. And Simon Goodwin, well, he looks set for another big year. He is a class performer. Bracket him with the McLeods of the world. He's had a good night. 17 possessions. Had Chainway Woden early in the piece and comprehensively lowered his colours.
Wayne Carey, who was the captain of the Kangaroos when they beat the Adelaide Crows in the night grand final in 1995. They've lost a couple, Adelaide, but now they're about to win one. Ball wide towards McGregor. Off hands, Perry. Bumped off it by Shane Wakeland. Chip kick Lucuria. Handball's over to Williams. Now Rocker, who drops the mark, and that tells the tale for Collingwood. Doughty. Wide ball. Bassett. On the wing, just playing outside now. Heads to the open side of the ground of McLeod. Well, it probably would be appropriate if he had a part in the last passage of play. Burton, inside 50. The goose step, screws it around the body towards full forward. Carey, crunch. And O'Brien will get up. Only behind.
Is it a concern, Gary, that Perry has not kicked a goal since Carey's been on the ground?
it would be something that they'd look at, but they're now 37 points ahead, so...
I'm just thinking down the track because Perry's the future.
Would be for Perry.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Lockyer on the outer side.
It's an intriguing question, and one that deserves greater debate.
Here's Burns on the outer side. What you're going to say for another time. Down towards the pocket while Woden takes the mark. He could well kick it after the siren, but this one is in the bank. The Wizard Cup is going to Adelaide. They weren't happy about having to play this game in Melbourne, but it matters not now. Worthy winners, terrific performance. And in consecutive weeks, they've beaten Port, the West Coast Eagles, the Kangaroos, and despite this goal from Shane Woden, they've beaten the Collingwood Magpies. 6 points on the death, the margin 31 points, and the Crows win the Wizard Cup.
Worthy winners indeed. And would have got just about everything they wanted out of this match, I would have thought. Wayne Carey, he got through with 2 goals. He's with Tony Jones.
Yes, thanks very much, Gary. Well, I suppose 2 words might sum it up, Wayne. You're back.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to have a good win tonight. We set out to play well in this competition at the start of it, and you know, I was lucky enough to get into the side tonight. A lot of guys, well, a couple of guys missed out on the game tonight that had got us here, so they're a part of this as well. But a good win for the club, and look forward to round 1 now.
Well, I mean, a fantastic win for the club, but you particularly. I mean, it was just the dawning of a new era for Wayne Carey in many ways.
Oh, I hope so. I hope I can make a contribution to the Adelaide Footy Club this year and kick a few goals, set a few up, and have a good year.
How were you feeling pre-game, Wayne?
Yeah, a bit nervous, but I knew I was starting on the bench, so I didn't have too much to be nervous about.
And just one final one, the crowd reaction, a little better than you might have thought?
It's always been the same, so it doesn't bother me, mate.
All right, have a good year.
Good on you, Tony. Tony Jones, it's a great get from Wayne Carey, but this win's much more about that man. This was a terrific win, as we said during the call, against some quality opposition. Mark Rashudo back from injury got through. As we said, Carey got through, but some of these young kids, Laddams was wonderful. Bode was fantastic. I thought Stingline's job on Buckley was great. Red Bigland stepped up. Home Loan Cup Grand Final winners, and you pointed out young Riley there, who also showed a hell of a lot of footy, Dermot, but there was a moment there that might just define his career, who knows, in years to come. 12 possessions for him, but when he stood in the way of Chris Tarrant rampaging up the ground, he took a look over his shoulder and saw him coming, and he remained with 2 feet on the ground and took everything he had.
Just amazing, isn't it? The speculation late last season about Gary Ayres, and here we go into the new season of Premiership straight up. Let's go down to Nigel Smart now.
Yes, thanks very much, Dennis. Well, Nigel, well, I suppose you fired a psychological missile across the border earlier in the week, and it might have worked.
I don't know about that. The boys have been playing pretty good football. We've played 4 games and won 4 games. It was pretty hard coming over to Telford Dome. We haven't played here before, and Collingwood have played here nearly all the season, so it's a great effort to win our first Wizard Cup Grand Final.
Was it a calculated move on your part? Because it was quite controversial to say that Collingwood don't capitalise on the opportunities presented to them.
Oh, look, I think Collingwood's got the flavour of the month, and well, that's good on them, but we've played pretty good football, and we're just enjoying the win.
All right, we'll go and enjoy it. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Our seasoned old veteran Nigel Smart has been around for a long, long time. We've seen him lose all his hair, that fellow. And
I played on him when he had hair, Gaz, and so did you.
I did.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Very smug-looking Nigel Smart, and you can be. You can be. He performed very well tonight as well against Chris Tarrant. And what are this Collingwood side, though? Where does it leave them? Is it? I guess it wouldn't be psychologically damaging. Dropping, obviously, they were so brave last year in the grand final, and would prefer to have won this, of course, but I think their preparation's been pretty sound coming in.
They were fantastic in their first 3 games, but look, they got a bit of a reality check tonight. Somebody played them at the game they've been winning their last 3 fixtures with.
Having played in a couple of losing pre-season grand finals and then finishing a career without any silverware at all, probably don't realise how important it is to actually get something out of your career. And Collingwood has got a number of players now that if they don't take the opportunity soon, they might end their careers without it. And Gary, you were part of that Melbourne side that won that pre-season flag that beat Geelong, and
it's something that at least you had at the end of your career.
A premiership in one form of the game.
Yes, and I'll take it at that. It's time now to go down to the presentations of the Michael Tuck Medal and the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Your Master of Ceremonies, Craig Willis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us a great deal of pleasure to invite former Hawthorn champion and AFL Games record holder Michael Tuck to present the medal named in his honour to the player adjudged best of field in the Wizard Home Loans Cup Grand Final here tonight at Telstra Dome. And the winner, Michael, is...
Good evening. The winner of the medal is Andrew McLeod of Adelaide.
Andrew, congratulations, the winner of the Michael Tuck Medal as the player adjudged best of ground tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause too, if you would, tonight for the efforts of the Collingwood Football Club. Played some great footy to get through to the grand final here tonight at Telstra Dome. The Wizard has been an outstanding sponsor of this competition and a great supporter of football. And these matches, of course, have been played throughout the length and breadth of Australia. It gives me a great deal of pleasure now to welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Wizard Financial Services, Mr. Angelo Milezis, who will present the Wizard Home Loans Cup to Gary Ayres and to Mark Prosciutto.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wizard is excited to be associated with the Wizard Home Loans Cup. It's been an extremely successful pre-season competition for all. On behalf of Wizard Home Loans, I would like to now congratulate the Adelaide Crows for their win tonight.
On behalf of the football club, we'd like to thank Collingwood for their effort tonight. They've had a good pre-season, had a good finals campaign last year. Thanks to the boys over here. We've had another good start to the year. We're keen to have a big year again this year. Thanks to the supporters for coming over from Adelaide, and all the best for 2003.
Mark, congratulations to you and the Adelaide Crows, the winner tonight of the Wizard Home Loans Cup for 2003. I'm going to invite the boys to have their photo taken with this magnificent trophy and then to do a lap of honour here at Telstra Dome. That completes our presentation.
Craig Willis, the Master of Ceremonies, and it'll be a lap of honour in front of a pretty barren crowd, it's got to be said. Much of the crowd has headed off home, but they are very, very worthy winners in this pre-season competition. Cup hasn't spent much time in Victoria of recent times. And that sets them up. It sets them up for a big year. They are going to be contenders. They've added some experience. Ronnie Burns would have been a touch disappointing tonight, I would have thought, but Carey certainly got through, and Tawney did a pretty good job on Alan Didak, who has been so dangerous through the course of this pre-season competition.
I think, Gary, if you're a gambling man, you'd like both these sides, though, in your top four, wouldn't you?
Oh, my word.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely will. Adelaide play a similar game to the Brisbane Lions. Collingwood, well, everybody's pretty aware of their game plan, but both heavyweights. Both heavyweights.
The premiership heading to Adelaide, and Tony Jones is with the victorious coach, Gary Ayres.
Yeah, pretty happy bloke too, I can tell you that, but geez, you know how to clear a stadium, don't you?
Oh, well, look, you know, we were pretty keen to come over here anyway when the game was announced it was going to be played here. And look, if you want to try and be a successful team, well, obviously you've got to win the finals in Melbourne. So, you know, the boys were tested. Commiserations to Collingwood. You know, they've had a pretty good preparation. So, and we've just been able to just edge our nose in front on the night.
Andrew McLeod, a worthy winner of the Michael Tuck medal. He doesn't mind collecting medals, does he?
Oh, look, he'd be wrapped because he's probably been down a little bit the last couple of weeks. And I thought really in the second quarter he was very, very good for us. And again, late in that last quarter, I thought he was real solid for us. So, you know, but everyone's got to play their part. And I thought that the tackling and the intensity with which we put Collingwood under was worthy of a final.
And I suppose too, I mean, they could have dropped the bundle there in the last quarter when Collingwood came back, but they just lifted again.
Yeah, well, I think it's important because we knew Collingwood would respond, and they obviously had a few wounded. But, you know, all in all, if you want to be an improving side, which is what we hope to be this year, we've got to be able to match the pressure of the good sides like Collingwood.
What about your ruck roster, Gary? It's a coach's dream, isn't it?
Oh, well, look, they both know that they're actually under the pump, so to speak, because you've got Ben Marsh just waiting in the wings. So, you know, tonight they rotated well, they contributed, and they just kept the heat on, obviously, Collingwood. And, you know, the stoppages with what we played like tonight, I thought the boys got the points, but last year in the preliminary final, I thought Collingwood were very, very good at the stoppages, so we'd sort of planned for that tonight.
I suppose you took a punt with Wayne Carey. You agree with that?
Oh, look, it was all a gut feeling, really. You know, I'd made up my mind till probably as late as Wednesday night, and really it was just a proviso that he pulled up okay. But, you know, again, for him, I'm wrapped because he's actually got a taste of it after 12 months. And, look, he looked dangerous a couple of times, so really he should only get better as the year unfolds, I think.
And do you think it might have finally shut the book on his horrific year, and no longer is it Wayne Carey the villain, but maybe Wayne Carey the footballer again?
Oh, well, look, that's what he's really been known for a lot longer than the other stuff. So, you know, we obviously said to him when we first spoke to him, it's at a fresh start. You know, mate, all we want you to do is just contribute the best way possible. So I suppose it'll be a bit sore tomorrow, but, you know, at least he's got a couple of weeks to get over that now.
Thanks for your time, Gary, and congratulations.
Thanks, Tony.
Good on you, mate.
Tony Jones here with the victorious coach, Gary Ayres, and no, I think that the Adelaide Crows will head back across the border very well pleased with their night's work. There were no negatives to speak of, all positives, and they take the cup home.
You know, the thing I'm seeing through this, Ayres has played in 10 premierships all up himself in day and night finals, and this team has just won a premiership. They're rapt to have won it. They win a bit of money, they get a little medallion for themselves down the track, but you know what? They're actually taking it in their stride. This is actually just another pre-season game at the moment. They're happy to have won it and the accolade, but they're not going over the moon about it.
No, they would have a longer, bigger agenda, but this team here, Collingwood, who they're later back onto the track than most teams by virtue of their grand final. So I think every win on the way through to this final was viewed as a bit of a bonus for the Magpies, and I'm not sure whether they would have expected to be there. Of course they would have liked to have won, but they seem to have got through unscathed. We'll get an update on Simon Prestigiacomo from Dr. Peter Larkins when we wrap up what's been a big Wizard Home Loans grand final, and as we head to the break. This man has a habit of getting best on ground in winning grand finals. He's done it again tonight, the Michael Tuck medalist.
Sunday night at the movies.
I had to be ready for anything.
The FBI catching a thief means finding his girlfriend.
We find her, we find Lester, we find the money. Sherry's got a long-lost grandmother.
Mama, I thought you may have forgotten all about me.
Oh, I think Mama could never forget that ass.
Martin Lawrence.
I'm a handyman.
Is deep undercover.
What's that?
That's just my flashlight.
In the premiere comedy Smash.
Is there another flashlight under there?
Big Mama's House, 8:30 Sunday on 9.
When did you last stop and think about your home insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Amy saves you up to 45% off our home insurance base rate when your car is insured with us. And we provide temporary accommodation at no extra cost if your home is unlivable during repairs. We even offer a further discount on our base rate if you're over 50. You can expect more from Amy. Switch now.
Lucky you're with Amy.
telling anybody.
You know Feng Shui? Well, I got this expert in, and he said...
Sweetie, this place is a Feng Shui disaster.
A Feng Shui disaster? So, here's the plan.
70,000 items fling shuied out the door.
70,000 items fling shuied.
20,000 quilt cover sets fling shuied. $50 quilt cover sets $19.95. $40 sheet sets $19.95. $30 towels $14.95.
It's just 2 chockers.
It's chockers.
He was the most famous Australian artist of his day. Albert Namatjira's beautiful watercolours were highly popular and remain much loved today. They reveal the heart and spirit of his country, with all its colour and splendour. Now, for the first time, you can enjoy a retrospective of his work. The Art of Albert Namatjira, now showing at the Art Gallery of South Australia.
You'll still feel the soul of a sports car. You'll still be stirred by the powerful 150 kilowatt V6. But now, the 2003 Mazda Tribute comes with stunning new interiors and a brand new V6 limited sport model. The new 2003 Mazda Tribute range. Our best ever tribute to Australia.
Tonight on 9, there are some ads you'll really want to see. The best commercials you've never seen following the footy tonight on 9.
The 2003 Wizard Home Loans Cup is heading across the border to Adelaide. 31 points was the margin. Very worthy winners. They were in control for pretty well most of the night. They led at every break. Blew it open in the second quarter, really, were threatened or challenged halfway through the third quarter, but they steadied like a very good side, and they have emerged victorious. Another man who always emerges victorious is Dr. Peter Larkins. Give us an update, Doc.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. We're certainly happy down here at Adelaide. No problems on the injury front. Over at Collingwood, Simon Prestigiacomo and Josh Fraser, both described as ankle injuries by the club. Prestigiacomo a little bit worse. We didn't see him after quarter time, so they'll be watching him during the week. Josh Fraser, just a mild ankle injury. He'll be right for next week, or the Cops got the week off, so 2 weeks' time. Prestigiacomo with an ankle injury, didn't play after the first quarter. They're going to have some tests on him during the week. They don't think it's too bad, Gary, but certainly both of those two will be watched this week.
Good on you, Doc. Of course, they've got 2 weeks to get themselves right. Let's have a look at some practice match results. Sydney with Barry Hall kicking 8 goals. Got over the top of the Tigers, the Kangaroos. That's a very nice win against St Kilda. Fremantle by a couple over the Hawks, and the Western Bulldogs got over Brisbane Lions that I believe were pretty well close to full strength, so that is a pretty good result as well. Let's have a look ahead, of course, round 1, Friday night football here on Channel 9. Collingwood against Richmond, March 28th. Check your local guides. That is always a beauty. And we can also turn our attention to the cricket. Australia take on Kenya tonight. Both teams through. The Kenyans, the mighty Kenyans, take on the Aussies. Upset of the century. Thanks for your company. It's been a great
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
The 2003 Wizard Home Loans Cup, proudly brought to you by the all-new Holden Rodeo. It's a monster truck. Amy, lucky you're with Amy. Carlton Sterling, it's the beer lover's light. Mitre 10, you can't beat 10 out of 10. iPrimus Broadband, frustration-free internet. And AGL, your Australian gas and electricity company.